Actually, no. Yeah, Legion.
Demonica, right?
Yeah, he would give the reroll ones to hit.
Pretty good.
Mono God detachments with Be'lakor annoys me though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because
Yeah.
I like the mono gods.
If you're going to play Be'lakor's detachment, honestly, Bloodthirster, advance and charge.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so good.
and I think you can either give him the scout enhancement or the I fuck off in reserve when I kill a thing enhancement, and all of them are good. Both of them are good. They both work.
I should take two.
I might slip the keeper in as well.
You do love a keeper.
Slip in a keeper. Yeah. One of Joe's favourite pastimes.
Yeah.
Love to slip in a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a wicket keeper.
A wicked keeper specifically.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We went live just as they're already talking about new detachments. Specifically, it's the Be'lakor one. I don't know what it's called. What's it called?
The Shadow Legion.
The Shadow Legion. Thank you, Tom. Yeah. Specifically that one, because what happens when new detachments and stuff come out, specifically for factions that we play here in the studio, there ends up being a ton of discussion about it and about what's good and what's bad and whether it works. And sometimes we go look at that, and go, that's not that great, and we play it and go, well, actually, it's pretty good. Or vice versa, we go, that looks really strong. Play it and go, that's not so good. And that's prevalent because, as you would have known if you watched last night's stream, I talked about the Balanced Data Slate release along with a ton of updates. The one they've just been talking about, specifically because the Chaos Demons has had an index update, and the index update brought another detachment to Chaos Demons, which now puts them on 6 detachments without actually having a book, which is quite impressive.
I've got a friend who
No, you haven't.
printed off. We said to a specific printer
Going in hard already.
who made me a more time rule book from like a PDF.
Yeah.
It's a proper front cover and everything. It's beautiful. I'm tempted to see if they can do the same with the Demon Index. With the Grotmus detachments and have actual physical book made.
Because I feel like it's safe to say, after Demons have had 6 detachments, that this is their codex, essentially.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last night.
Yeah.
If you want to know what we talked about last night in terms of the Chaos Demons Codex, you can obviously check that out. But alongside that, we also had a brand new Tau detachment. Their Borkan rules essentially back. A brand new Orc detachment. After they calmed down Tactical Brigade, they decided to release something else equally as fucking mental. And a brand new Custodians detachment, which Tom has just tried.
Pretty good.
So we can touch on these detachments and we can talk about some of what they do. But what I set for the title tonight or today, Joe, is how many new detachments is too many? And the reason why I asked this question is because there's an article that also came out yesterday talking about these released detachments. And what it said was they're going to be releasing 3 new detachments every quarter for the rest of the edition, which is quite a lot. And they also said they're going to be releasing detachments for factions that have codexes already. Yeah. So by the end of 10th edition, we are going to be fucking drowning in detachments.
Realistically, you're looking at potential 6 releases of detachments.
5 to 6,
Well,
probably.
if you include this one, I think it's 6.
Yeah, this one will be 6, I think.
So the whole of this year and 2 sets next year, potentially, including this one, will be 6 releases, which is another 6 times 3 is, Joe?
18.
8, well done. 18 more detachments potentially coming. That's if they only do 3 at a time every time until the end of the edition.
I think the problem is going to be sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah.
Is the problem, as we saw at Grotmus.
Well, I don't know about the Tau one, because I've not really looked into that one, because I don't really understand Tau. We'll get Paddy's thoughts on that one later, but the Orcs one and the Custodians one both look pretty good.
I think the Tau one is really, really good.
So all 3 good?
I think it's really... I don't think people realise how good it is.
Be'lakor?
If you include Be'lakor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4 if you include Be'lakor. But they kept that real quiet. They're like, 3 new detachments. And Chaos.
It's because they're trying to ignore the fact that they've released an entire codex for free now.
Yeah.
Well, it's also to probably not draw too much attention to the fact that they've dropped loads of units, especially Karanak.
Where the hell has Karanak gone? What did he do?
That was
so
such a
angry about
weird
Karanak.
choice.
He's such a good boy.
It's an even weirder choice when you look at the article and the image is a giant bloodthirster, and just over his shoulder on a rock is Karanak.
Well,
Do you think they forgot about him?
The Facebook thumbnail is Be'lakor and then Karanak at his feet.
Do you honestly think they forgot
They
about
haven't
him?
forgotten him, because I checked last night. He is in Legends.
So they've literally
They've
put
actually
him in
moved him to Legends.
Why?
Which is mental, because he's probably one of the newest Khorne demon models.
Yeah, like he's full plastic. He's pretty new-ish relative to everything else.
I think the only one that's newer than him was the Bloodletter Herald on foot. because he was resin, and then he came to plastic, but they kind of just slipped him out in secret.
I just think it's a really odd choice because this is what I talked about last night. The Blue Scribes have stayed in the Codex. Epidemius has stayed in the Codex. He's fine cast.
Yeah.
He's fine cast. And Karanak, our three-headed Cerberus dog, is gone.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just a really odd choice.
And Bloodhounds have just been relegated to the uppy downy unit.
And it's
Well,
not
they've
like,
been
well, I mean, you
upgraded.
say relegated. That basically makes him an auto take.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
take
if
two.
you're,
at
I
least.
think World Eaters players will probably. Well, they're not battle line, though, are they?
They're not battle
So you have to
line.
take bloodletters. And then you have
Although
to take them.
bloodletters have also got better. Movement 8 now.
And you can't fall back
I
without
don't
battle shock
think
test.
they should.
You got to take a desperate escape test.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't think they should include infantry heroes as part of the limitation. Because if you take bloodletters and then you take a blood master or skull master that joins them, you then have to take another unit of bloodletters if you want to take.
Well, I don't think
Flesh
there
Hounds.
should be. I don't think that we should have this battle line limit when it's the same like allegiance.
Yeah.
So like you can take any corn stuff you want in World Eaters, take any Thousand Sun stuff you want in Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
I think like the battle line thing was just to try and stop people taking random low op characters in CSM.
I'm okay with it if it aligns battle line to say monsters like Bloodthirsters,
Yeah.
but I'm less okay with it or something akin to that. But or for every character unit you have to take a non-character unit. That also makes sense. Where it sits really unfair, I see this quite often with Chaos Demons, Chaos Knights specifically, is the fact that you can also just take Nurglings
Yeah,
at
Nurglings-
35 points.
Nurgling's a battle line for some insane reason.
So you can go to like 100 points of Nurglings and you get access to 400 points of other Nurgle Demons because they're 35 points each. Whereas
Yeah.
like Bloodletters are like 100 points a unit. So the second you take two of those, you've only got 300 points left over for two other units, which is a bit mad.
I think you there's no argument unless actual affordability where you go. I take 3 units of Nurglings. I take three Beasts of Nurgle.
yeah.
Yeah, and those things are annoying to
I
deal
think
with.
Beast and Nurgle got Scout now as well or something.
So do you think 3 detachments every single quarter is going to mean that by the end, I've seen this comparison in chat as well, it's going to mean that by the end of 10th edition, we're sat in a 7th edition place. I know, Tom, you don't know 7th edition. Because at the end of 7th edition, I didn't think 7th edition was a terrible core rule set. There was a couple of broken things in it with visible Death Stars, etc. But the biggest problem people had at the end of 7th edition was the formations and the number of formations and the way they broke the game.
Yeah.
And you had things like Space Marines being able to take the Demi Company and having free transports for the whole army and stuff like that. Do you think 10th is going to go that route? Are we going to go, at the moment, we're going to go super cool because we've got more options of playing, but at the end of the edition going, and the other thing that I want to question as well, and I'll put this out to both of you, and you can start, Job, if you want, but if this is the balanced data slate that's coming out, where we're balancing the rules that have gone over the last 3 months, surely they go, here's the balancing changes. But if we're throwing out 3 detachments at the same time, we're arguably undoing some of that balance at the same time. So they've balanced Tactical Brigade and gone have Daka Daka.
Yeah,
that's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like, Tactical Brigade's dead, but here's Daka Daka Daka.
Yeah. And then they were like,
better.
Guardians are cheaper now, but now they'll get +1 to hit and wound.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that more detachments leads to more imbalance based on, because the points of units is based on the detachments they can join and how efficient they are in those detachments. Now, they're not based on how good the unit is anymore. They're based on how efficient they become and how prevalent that detachment is. Right? So, take, I don't know, Custodes, for example, right? If you take out their new detachment, right, a lot of their stuff went up.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you put them in the detachment that gives you crit hits 5s, the shield host, incredibly efficient.
Very
so those
efficient.
units became a bit expensive, but no one was taking custodian guards in that detachment because wardens and terminators were really good. So their points dropped. And then, on the same day as changing those based on the detachments they've given that already exist, they've gone, here's a new detachment where you're only going to take 30 Guardians in it.
I would suggest
and
as
they're all
well.
vastly better.
I would suggest as well that if you look at the data sheets in a void, not looking
Yeah.
at attachments, there's now a compelling choice for Guardians and Wardens. Like there is definitely
Yeah, that is true.
They're in a place now. Like they were in a place. They've been in a place for the longest time where people goes, no point taking Guardians. You might as well just take Wardens, right? And now with the points changes, again, not looking at this new detachment. In fact, not even looking at Shield Haste. With the points changes, I'm now like, I can actually see an argument for both now. Like 5 Guardians are roughly close to the same points as 4 Wardens.
I think
that's a nice balance.
I think they are fairly pointed now if you ignore the detachments.
What I think,
Which is then the problem.
but the problem is that they're going to get into now, right? Is that Custodians have 4 detachments in their codex.
Yeah.
They've got 2 extra now.
Yeah.
Orcs have
They got 6.
6 in the book.
Got 8 now because of
Plus
stuff.
2.
Yeah.
So there's still an imbalance there because Orcs have now just got vastly more than.
I personally,
Other
think doing new detachments is a good thing. However, I do think it matters who gets them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of codexes are quite underwhelming when you're like, here's 4 detachment, one of them's terrible, and one of them only uses the unit you don't care about. So
Yeah.
you've basically only got 2 options. So then they go, here's a way of fixing it. We're just going to add a couple more detachments down then. If they add a Space Marine detachment through this, I'd be pissed off.
There will be a Space Marine detachment. There'll be a Blood Angel detachment and there'll be a Dark Angel
They
detachment.
don't need it though.
What they
just
should have
don't need
done
it.
is not given it to Custodes and Orcs now.
No, Admech could have done with it.
Yeah, they like don't give the 2 armies that are currently the strongest armies in the game
They're
in
not.
terms of like win rates.
Yeah.
Right? Because like in the basis that like Orcs didn't need Daka.
No,
when
Orcs didn't need that.
when they just got Tactical Brigade,
Yeah.
and that thing is cleaning up quite comfortably in the hands of good players. Was
Not anymore.
until they FAQ'd it into the ground. But they went, let's make that one bad because it was too broken. But then we just could replace it with another
I think
kind of insane
Orcs is a
detachment.
weird choice because I think they have the most options for good detachments.
Well, the other thing as well is what's really odd with their choices is Daka just goes, you know all those units that you bought for Tactical Brigade, they work in this one.
they clearly want to send more kill teams when they
Well,
come
that-
on full release.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing. They're just teeing up.
I wonder if the new kill team will go on
like,
pre-order soon.
Most people, most like anti-GW people would go, here's a detachment that makes the shooting really, really good. We've nerfed it into the ground, so we brought out this brand new detachment which makes all the melee really, really good.
Yeah,
and everyone's
yeah.
like, oh, I've got to buy more kits. And GW went, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Here's the detachment that makes all these units good. And here's another detachment which makes the same units better.
Yeah,
It's just
literally
mad.
does. Don't worry, we've nerfed bomb squeaks though, so
Yeah.
we're fine. It's all fine.
But every unit that you have in your army now will have a bomb squig kind of thing.
No, I think it's going to be 30 looters, like flash kits, like looters are going to be insane.
The fact that you can give one unit of looters +1 attack with rapid fire,
Yeah.
and then you can give another unit.
I think the most mental.
What was the other one you can get? What the other?
Oh, you give
thing?
+1 a hit.
Yeah, so one you can have +1 to hit,
Right,
and
you
then
can
one
have-
you can get.
So one of them can have dev wounds,
Yeah.
one of them can have +1 a hit,
Yeah.
one of them can have rapid fire.
So are we suggesting then that between us we think that perhaps there's going to be too many detachments by the end of the edition and there's going to be a significant imbalance as to who's got what?
I think it depends how they go with it. There's some armies will have too many detachments because, as you say, like Space Marines are going to get one, which means they'll have like 15 or something insane.
Yeah, I think.
But then some, I think Custodians did need this one. Like I genuinely do think
But
they
then
need this
what
one.
they could have done, right, instead of adding new detachments, just fix the bad detachments that already exist.
Okay, but right, counterpoint. Do you not think, though, if they just fix the detachments that need fixing rather than releasing new ones, do you think that perhaps releasing new ones is a better spin, more positive spin in terms of like a community relations thing? Because if they're fixing old ones, what they're doing at that point is they're saying, we know this was bad when we printed the book, and now we're happy to fix it. But if they give you a new one, they're kind of going, oh, that one's fine. Don't worry about it, though. Use this new one. And maybe it's a bit more...
Well, the issue you've got is that when they make a new detachment, right, they have to come up with something new every time.
Yeah.
And new and different doesn't necessarily mean good, right? And especially in the hands of whoever's writing it at the time. So they've gone, well, demons are an entire army that have deep strike, so we'll just give them Chaos Space Marines, and they will all gain deep strike. And then the units that have the marks in the demons now get extra rules on top. So they go, cool, that's kind of thing. But then, like, we now can't duplicate that for anyone else, kind of thing. But then you end up with weird armies that have a good version of fallback and charge, or fallback shoot charge, or advance and charge. So just trying to find different ways of putting that into different places, but with different caveats, like you have to take a battle shock test or roll a 2+. And then what happens is that you end up with armies that have a good version and a bad version. And the people that have the bad version, like, I've got this, but I just have a worse version that everyone else has. And it's just annoying kind of thing. It's like how they force it into the, like, if you take Emperor's Children, there's like a thing that, like, they're like, everyone else's version is, we'll take Chaos Space Marines, for example, right? Everyone's got Uppy Downy.
Yeah.
Everyone in the game's got a version of Uppy Downy. They've just given Uppy Downy to Flesh Hounds.
Worldies don't have it.
Worldies don't have it, but they can do now.
They can with Flesh Hounds.
They can with
If I
Flesh
also
Hounds now.
pay 110 points of
Yeah,
blood.
but Flesh Hounds get the example is that Flesh Hounds gained Uppy Downy. If they're not in combat, put them in reserve.
Yeah.
Right? And then Incubi, if they're not in engagement range, put them in reserve. And then Warp Talons, you have to kill an entire unit to go into reserves.
Yeah.
And that's the only one you have access to. Now you've got access to Flesh Hounds, which is better.
Oh, wait.
But it's one of those ones, like, as a Chaos player, it's like, why did I get lumped with the bad version? I'm glad I have that rule, but I've got the bad version
I do
of it.
I do appreciate their intent to try and make them different so that you don't feel like every faction has a copy and paste. But the problem is so often lots of factions have a copy and paste.
I don't think every faction should have Uppy Downy. I think it should just be like 2 or 3.
No, I'm inclined to agree, and I think the Grey Knights pay a premium to have Uppy Downy and every other faction's now got.
Yeah, it's like how they took Blood Surge and put it in like 7 different armies now as well.
Yeah, Blood Surge was so uniquely
It
core.
was literally all they had.
And now it's like, that rule that Berserkers have got, everyone else has got it too,
It's
but
like everyone
Berserkers have
gets
got no
a
extra
strat.
rules either.
But then, if you take it away, I personally think the armies that don't really benefit from it should be the ones that keep it. Right? So having Uppy Downy on Eldar is super efficient because they've just got loads and loads of, like, MSU kind of units.
They don't even have it now.
No? Well, they've got it with Bahar often.
There's a strat.
There's a strat.
and a
In
strat.
Warhost, there's a strat. If you're within 9 inches of a board edge, you can Uppy Downy.
Okay.
But you go to strategic reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, Scouts don't need Uppy Downy. Space Marine Scouts have got
Yeah, they've got the weird
Infiltrate,
one, don't
Scout,
they? Yeah.
Uppy Downy kind of thing. Admittedly, they're coming from... So, like, they don't need it kind of thing, so they can get rid of it.
I think it makes more sense sat with the narrative factions that would have that kind of speed and
Yeah.
precision. I think that it is... Like, I question Flesh Hounds having it. Demons having access to it is good, but I question why Flesh Hounds have got it.
I think that was very much a rules decision rather than a law decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that they have to strike this balance between rules decisions and law decisions. And I don't think they always get it right.
I would have thought like a Tzeentch unit would make more sense because they like use magic to like phase out of
Yeah,
reality.
Tzeentch makes more sense.
The problem is, right, Blood Surge is a rule, which was uniquely World Eaters to start with,
Yeah.
doesn't really have a huge impact massively on other factions. It was just quite a World Eaters-y thing to do.
It's a cool rule.
The problem with Uppy Downy is the way the mission works, it becomes incredibly powerful for scoring certain secondaries.
Yeah.
So at that point, giving everyone Blood Surge doesn't really make a difference. Doesn't really impact how other factions play hugely. Giving everyone Uppy Downy, well, if you don't give everyone Uppy Downy, that one faction can just go and score all the secondaries.
Yeah.
So then you kind of have to make sure that you give the rule to the fragile detachments or the fragile armies who need the Uppy Downy to be able to go and score those points. But you don't necessarily need to give it to the durable ones, like, Grey Knight Terminators.
Yeah.
It's just a really, I think that sometimes it's a really odd, like, Uppy Downy is so good for the actual mission play, we're now going to start spreading out amongst
I
every
think
faction.
maybe what they need to do is maybe it just becomes a mission problem. They've changed because Uppy Downy is always on chaff units that you don't need to do killing with. It just goes up into the sky, comes back down, stands in a corner, does an action, or just stands in the corner, just has to exist there, right? But if you got rid of secondaries, which is stand in a corner,
Yeah, I agree.
right, then the importance of Uppy Downy becomes lessened.
I strongly
Because then
agree.
you want Uppy Downy on units that can actually go somewhere and kill something.
I actually agree with you, Joe, in that one. The mission becomes the problem there, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And that's why every faction having access to it becomes... They kind of need it because of the way the mission plays. So the actual issue isn't the Uppy Downy being everywhere. It's the fact that the mission requires you to go fuck off in a corner and do something.
Because if you can Uppy Downy a unit of Flesh Hounds, they're not exactly... Like, someone goes, I've got a unit of Flesh Hounds in my back line. It's not a problem. I could probably deal
I'm
with
going to
those.
throw something else at you though, which I've been thinking about, and I've also seen this go in chat a couple of times as well. This Grotmas stuff was one of the first times, with the exception of edition resets, where we've seen them go, here's a bunch of stuff for free.
Yeah.
Specifically rules, which, let's be fair, a lot of us have been asking for that kind of format for a very long time.
Yeah.
Now, I think that them saying we're going to do 3 more detachments every quarter is a huge positive. If you read the article, they basically say the reaction to Grotmus was so incredibly positive, we're now going to keep doing it. This could, and I can't quite believe I'm going to say this, but this could be Games Workshop dipping their toe in the water and going, is free rules the future?
Yeah.
Is this how we do it from now?
Yeah.
And we just use, and I'll go a step further, which people aren't quite talking about, but perhaps we use free rules to encourage model sales.
Yeah.
You know, so let's say in 11th edition, the Orc detachments are all heavily focused on melee, and they're selling loads of fucking Mega Knobs, they're selling loads of Breaker Boys, but they're not selling any shooting units. That gives them a freedom with free rules, which they don't have to wait for printing. They can react very quickly. They haven't got to wait for it to go to China, get printed, come back over on a container ship. They can react super quickly and go, here's a new detachment called Daka Daka, which is all about shooting now. And what they could potentially do is forego the sale of codexes and increase the sale of models potentially.
I think yes and no.
Okay.
I like the idea. I really like the idea. That's what we all want, really. I reckon the codexes will stay. We've talked about the idea that codexes need to go. We just need free rules. If the codexes go, the app subscription service would be all the rules are on the app. You have to pay for the app, but all the rules are on there. But what I think is what they've done with the Grotmus stuff is they realised that they released it at Christmas, right? Because at Christmas, wargamers don't buy models. Family members of wargamers buy models, right?
Okay.
So by releasing those attachments at Christmas, they were like, well, family members of gamers are buying models, but now the gamers are buying models as well because they have to change their army or they've got a new one. So increases the thing. So I think this like extra detachment thing every 3 months might go on for like a couple of editions because it's a massive way of spiking sales when you need it.
Well, this is the thing. If they're watching their data, they logically will see spikes in sales based on Grotmus releases and detachment releases, which would then mean that if they look at it and go, actually, we can make more money off of these sales than we can off of selling codexes.
Yeah.
So let's just chuck rules out for free. And let's be honest, there's other gaming companies that do this already. Granted, they're nowhere near as financially successful as Games Workshop, but there's other and so sometimes when people go, the amount of people that I see that go like, for example, and this isn't a good example because they sell a rule book, but Bolt Action do it for free as an example, and I'm like, and they're like a hundredth of the size of Games Workshop. So we probably shouldn't look at these other gaming companies for best practice because Games Workshop is the financial giant that it is. However, if they can release Grotmus, if they can release quarterly detachments, because what they can do now is they go, right, this quarter we've released Orcs, Custodes, and Tau. And we'll look at the sales of Orcs, Custodes, and Tau, and we've seen a big spike. That's interesting. Next quarter, perhaps they do Space Marines, Admech, and Eldar. And they go, there's a huge spike in Space Marines, Admech, and Eldar. At that point, they can go, we are seeing a direct correlation in increase in sales to the detachments. So we're using rules to sell models. Who thought that was possible?
Yeah.
Right? You know, if that's the case, they might go, we can just chop this whole China operation and book sales piece out. We don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need the fucking hassle. We don't need to go over there, get them printed, ship them back over. We can actually cover off the cost of or the sales of codexes just with new model sales. If that's possible, then I think that'd
be I think what they'll do is they'll continue to do what they're doing now. Is you could print off the rules for free. All the rules would be free on the website, but if you want the convenience of writing them in an army list, you do have to pay for the app.
That's what I would. That's exactly what I would do. Because that's also better positive engagement with your audience. Actually, the rules are free.
Yeah.
But if you want to use the app for your rules and use the app for your list building, you will have to pay a subscription fee for that. But you don't have to. You can just download the PDF.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, and if you download the PDF, if you download it the day you're going to go play it will be an up-to-date version.
Yeah.
I think that's a positive piece as well for the audience. And let's face it, GW could do a little bit more with positive engagement with their customer base. Grotmus has done wonders for that. They've clearly recognised that. They've literally said it in their article.
I wonder how many people still use the app for free.
I don't know of anyone.
Because you can use it for free, but you can only make one list at a
Tell
time.
us in chat. People in chat, is anyone in chat use the app for free? Does anyone do that?
Yeah.
You can like make a bunch of lists when you're paying for it, and then not pay for it, and then they're still there.
Yeah, you can pay for the app. You can make 20 lists, one for every faction. Start cancel your payment, and you just use the ones you've already made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not making a new one, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Hacks.
I was just interested to know whether people actually use the app for free.
I think what will happen then is I'll get smart to it and be like, every time we update the app, we delete all of your lists.
Yeah.
One thing I will say as well.
I'm sure they're trying.
One thing I will say as well to the audience out there, it's Games Workshop have gone. It was very positively received, and we got lots of love for it basically in their app, right? Which is cool. In their article, which is cool. The one good thing I want to take from that as well.
30 lists.
The one good thing I want to take from that as well is that means that the community gave positive feedback when Games Workshop did a good thing.
Yeah.
Because often, actually, if you live in the Games Workshop space, it doesn't matter. They could offer you 500 quid for a free army, and some people would go, "It's not 1,000, though, is it?" Because people like to just complain about Games Workshop.
Well,
so I want to be proud of everybody that went, this is a good thing, and we're going to make sure people know it's a good thing.
Like
It is great.
They've just released the entire Demons Codex for free, and I'm sure they were definitely going to release a Demons Codex before everyone got upset.
I think we're in a weird situation now where we're like, yay, we've released stuff for free, but it's broken, but it's mental.
I still don't. So new attachments, they are good. The Orcs one is way too good, 100%. That needs nerfed. Sustain 2 is insane. Sustain 1 you can talk about. Custodians one's really good.
I think the Custodians one's the best one they have access to. I don't think it's broken.
I
broken is
think
too far.
it's really good. It's probably the best one. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. Yeah, but like I'm glad they're doing new detachments. I think it's really good for the game. And it's not that difficult for them to nerf them if they are a bit mental.
Yeah.
I do wish they'd kind of released ones that were potentially on the lower side of good rather than the higher side of good.
The one thing I will say is, I know we're getting a balanced data slate every quarter, but I think if they're releasing a digital PDF detachment that is free for you to use, if they recognise within a month that is fucking bonkers, what I'm hoping is they don't wait for the next balanced data slate to rectify that problem, and they go, oh, this is bonkers. We're toning it down pretty quickly.
Yeah, because I'd put money on Orcs winning at least 2-3 tournaments before they nerf it.
The reason why I say that is because I think, and I'm conscious to know what chat thinks, but as a person who plays incredibly regularly, Tom plays even more regularly and in a lot of events, I think the balance of the game at the moment is in an incredibly good space.
It's the best I've ever seen it, but I've only played 9th and 10th, so like in that time...
I think
100%
it's
the best I've seen.
In terms of actual balance in game, I think it's the best we've ever seen. That's not to say it's the most fun necessary chat. That's not to say it's the most the most enticing game to play, the most interesting game to play, the most immersive game to play. But it's, I think at the moment, the most balanced at least. My big concern with loads of new detachments is that it can increase significantly some of the imbalance.
Yeah.
And if they react fast to that, then fine. I don't care. If they leave it 3 months, what you don't want is new Eldar detachment comes next quarter and that just dominates for 3 months, like the Orc Daka one might do.
Yeah, I think the Orc Daka one is the best detachment I've seen come out since like start of 10th.
Yeah. Like, I really liked the Bridgehead one. If you owned the Scions, that detachment was mad good.
It's insanely good.
But it was super efficient at everything it does. And that detachment is not the same detachment now as it was. But it took 3 months, like I said, to get that
was
fixed.
It broken though?
I don't think it was.
Was it just a bit too powerful?
It was just a bit too. It was just like my unit arrives, you can't do anything about it, and then it shoots you and you're dead.
It was definitely,
but in your turn, you have a chance to pick up 15 toughness 3 models.
It was definitely in contention to be best in the game. I'd say it probably was the best in the game.
Yeah,
definitely not now.
It was the best detachment in the game, but it didn't have all the models.
It was beatable, is the thing.
Because at the moment, I look at the 3 that have come out, and I think they're all good. I don't think any of them are broken. I think the Orc one is a bit mental, but I don't think it's broken.
I think it might be.
You reckon?
I generally do think it might be.
Okay. I'm yet to play against it. So.
I think
I just don't know like what to do against it because like they just have insanely cheap units everywhere that all shoot insanely hard. There's also a strat in that to put a unit into the war and count as all your rules being in the war.
Yeah,
which is insanely good.
Just
on
means
some
that like a Gazgol unit with full mega knobs always in the war every turn.
Or the funny one is you put it on Zogrog Wartsnagger.
Yeah.
And when he's in the war, his whole unit gets movement 12, +1 hit, +1 wound. They're -1 to be wounded.
Yeah.
So you just like
aren't they grots though?
Yeah. But they also get a 5 pin bun because they're in the war.
Yeah.
So you have 20 grots that move 12 with a 5 pin bun, -1 to hit, -1 to wound, advance and charge. It's just so good. Like that attachment, man.
I think
That's some sauce.
I think the Custodian's attachment would be fine if it didn't have the +1 to hit. +1 to hit and +1 to wound is a bit nuts, because the thing is, though, there's so much stuff in the game that they've given -1 to hit to make it survivable and functional. But Custodes are like, I don't care about that now.
Yeah, I think
Whereas going from 2s to 3s is not an issue, right? But going from 2s to 3s back to 2s again, you're like...
It's because they have sustained as well. So like, if you're always hitting on 2s and you have sustained, you're essentially hitting on 1s.
Yeah.
Like maths wise, like you're essentially hitting all the time on average.
Yeah, and you got Custodian Guard who are strength 7 with +1 to wound.
Yeah.
There's not much in the game that you're going to put them into that is not wounding on.
I mean, they're
2s.
+1 to wound. They're also re-rolling 1s to wound all the time.
Yeah.
Re-rolling wounds if they're on an objective.
Well, the thing is that's what they did. So this is what they changed about Bridgehead Assault, right? So they've given Custodes a rule that they just took away from Bridgehead. Because Bridgehead, Scions were deep striking in with +1 to wound and re-rolling 1s to wound or all wounds on a target that's an objective. And they took it away from the Guard and then just gave it to Custodes.
Seems fair.
Who are wildly more efficient, because Guard have las guns.
Yeah, but
And melters.
but a unit of
2 melter guns.
a unit of 10 Tempesticide with a Tempesticide command squad has got a significantly higher output than 4 Custodian Guard in terms of shooting. It just does.
Yeah.
It does. Like the good guns in it are much better.
If you compare 1 Tempesticide Scion with 1 Custodian Guard, it would look mental to take it away from the Guardsman and give it to the Scion. But when you consider how many Tempestor Scions you would get for 2 units of Custodian Guard,
Yeah.
so I get that one a little bit more. It does on the surface look a bit odd to take it away from one detachment or one army and give it to another army that's even more powerful. But then if you compare models for models, points for points, and I think perhaps there's a balance there.
But the difference is that when a unit of Custodian Guard is sat on an objective, it's a toughness 6.
Oh, yeah.
2 up armor save, 4
sure.
up in run.
Yeah.
And a Guardsman, once it's deep struck in and shot, its rule goes away.
But you also have like 4 times as many guys.
Oh yeah. Like I just think they probably just needed the +1 to wound. Maybe
Yeah,
not the +1 to hit.
probably. I think weirdly, Custodian Guard probably didn't need to go up in points considering this
Go down in
detachment.
points.
Sorry, go down in points.
Yeah,
But-
they stayed the same.
Yeah.
And aren't they cheaper per model for a 3-man than a 5-man?
4 is slightly cheaper than 5. It's like 2 points or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
I want to know what you guys think anyway. If there's a reason to stick a postcard in the chat to tell us what you think about all these new detachments, you could talk specifically about the detachment, or what you can do is tell us whether you think that there's going to be too many, or you're actually really positive about free rules, or you're worried about the balance, or whatever it is. Like, and if you are worried about something, what I really would love to know, if you think there's going to be too many detachments, or you're worried the balance is going to be screwed, or whatever, I'd love to know if you've got a fix for it as well. That'd be interesting.
Also, as Ash asks, can you give it to Kyria Draxus?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
We
It's-
figured that out today.
She's in a custodian
It's
unit.
custodian unit, so
Yeah.
she now hits on 2s, +1 a wound, dev wounds, rerolls. She just got better. The auto include is even more auto include.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's actually +2 to hit against
She is,
Xenos.
as Paddy says, she is the best Custodes model in the Codex.
Yeah. I'd actually
not in the
potentially argue that now with the new fun.
Oh, the
new Alaris captain
Yeah.
that gets a strength 12, AP2, damage 4 axe
Yeah.
for 10 points.
Let us know what you think anyway with postcards. We're about to jump into chat. And if you really want to support the channel and support what we do here, the best way to support us is with gifting memberships or becoming a member all by yourself. If you're a grey name, you can become a member. Check out all the different benefits at the different tiers. And the one that's not described on YouTube is the Jarls Only giveaway, which we're working on fixing right now. Otherwise, you can gift memberships to people to give them some access behind the scenes in the Discord server. They might decide to stay. A lot of people do. A lot of people get gifted like 3 or 4 months in a row and be like, what a generous community. And they choose to take a gifted out all by themselves afterwards as well.
How do you feel about Custodes versus Orcs?
Orcs win that.
Yeah, because all the damage 3.
It's just because like you just can't kill them quick enough. And yeah, it's just all the tank bosses went up in like 15 points or something.
Yeah.
A
So you
lot,
still would take 3.
a lot of it depends on the Custodian's player ability to roll 4-ups.
True.
Yes.
Because if the dice spike, so on average dice rolls, Orc player wins.
Yeah, for sure.
If the dice spike in the favour of 4 pluses, the Custodian's player might just be able to weather that storm.
If I roll like I did on Tuesday,
Yeah,
I'd feel all right.
Fine.
Yeah.
You're all right.
You rolled average today.
I did.
And it was nice. And I killed some stuff. It
Yeah.
was lovely. Bellicor, but
I felt so bad after
Bellicor's
Tuesday.
so good now.
He's really good. He got a real glow up.
He got absolutely flattened by the damage 4 custodian
Well,
got.
I mean,
But it took 2 rounds
you
of
say
combat.
that.
But
He did take a while.
yeah, it took 2 rounds of combat to kill him.
What makes him so good now?
So he's gone from 6 attacks to 7 attacks. He's lost lethal, but he now has dev wounds in combat.
Oh, that's
Tougher
good.
as well.
A D6 plus 1. He's tougher now. He's got higher toughness. He's gone from toughest 10 to toughest 11. He's gone up to 20 wounds.
Was he before 18?
Yeah. He's his aura is better. So that he got rid of the aura, which basically allowed you to re-roll your battle shock tests. It just gives you re-roll ones to hit.
Well, that's good.
So it means he's now got 7 attacks on his hit profile, hitting on 2s, re-rolling ones.
And Dark Packs.
Oh, and he just auto passes dark packs.
He's no Scarbrand, though.
So he gets.
No.
So he can either have lethal or sustained.
I like New Scar.
I like his Scarbrand.
But him and New Scarbrand together,
That's the dream.
it's quite scary. Because then Scarbrand's like, I get reroll ones now.
Yeah, with my extra attack line I give myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot you got that as
Yeah.
well. And a boss in charge. Oh, I
Yeah.
really want to play New Blood Legion.
I think, new Bellicor feels like how Bellicor should feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now.
I think I'm glad they put his points up as well.
Yeah, he
'Cause that would've
needs it.
been
Because if he stayed his old points, he'd be loopy good.
Yeah.
Someone was saying earlier that keepers suck now. I don't think they do. I just think that because I think keepers now are just good. They're not mental.
I'd say they are definitely worse though.
Oh yeah, they are worse because they lost their 5-up feel no pain. But at the same time, having run them twice, 3 times now, I'm also like, did they need their 5-up feel no pain? Because toughness 10, 16 wounds, now 18 wounds.
I think
With a 3-up save and a 4-up invuln.
Still good.
I think the argument is always like, did they need it? Is largely an irrelevant question. I think you're probably right, but I think the problem is when you take something away from people, they're going to be a bit pissy about it.
It's going to be annoying, but I still think that they're good because they're still -1 to hit, right? What the thing is though, right? They were toughness 10, -1 to hit, 5-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
When you stack those abilities on top of each other, you're now more resilient than a great unclean one that doesn't have the 4-up feel no pain.
Agree.
Right? So what you are is you're not hard to hit anymore. You're just a tank. So being -1 to hit just makes you hard to hit.
Yeah.
But when they hit you, you're not as tough.
I don't think they should have a 5-up feel no pain just from like lore either.
No, I don't have an issue with ground clean ones having a 5-up feel no
Yeah,
pain.
that'd be reasonable.
Because they don't hit very hard.
No.
So, but they should be the tank.
The -1 to hit kind of makes sense for the Masterful Bladesman, essentially. The Feel No Pain kind of gets a level of narrative approval because Slanesh,
Excess,
pain is ecstasy. But
I thought
you're
Slanesh-
right. When the Gyros don't have one and she does, it's a bit weird.
Because I thought Slanesh is supposed to just basically fall over once you actually get them.
Well, they're supposed to be the glass cannon
Exactly.
of the factions. So the fact that when you get hit, you're like, and what?
Don't care.
Don't
Yeah.
care. I think Shalaxi's still good. Her rule is good. The way they changed her rule, where you get to reroll hit, reroll wound versus a character unit. Now you just pick a unit and you get it. But the problem is you pick it at the start of the battle round.
Yeah.
And your opponent's like, cool, I'll just stand that unit at the back of the table, and then you just don't get your model rule
that
anymore.
is a good way of making your opponent be really bloody careful with their good unit.
So it's an odd one. You can either play it tactically and force your opponent's good unit to kind of stand to one side, or you go, this unit of scouts is my reroll. I've killed them now. I'll pick that unit but you have to play ahead.
Yeah. But I think that is better than what it was before, just insanity. Of just literally
was way
reroll
too
anything
good.
you want.
Yeah. But it might have been scaled down because they've scaled her back as a unit, and they've gone, the rest of the Chaos Demons can have cool shit now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a Shalaxi show anymore.
Yeah, people have like, oh, you've taken away, but we've also given.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think in the future you'd be happy if they removed rules, detachments from codexes and just went to quarterly drops? But also that, like, what I also mean is they don't go drop 1 all Space Marines. Because what they could do if they do go to full digital, what they could conceivably do is then make sure that we haven't got a situation where Space Marine players have got 11 detachments for a faction, and then Custodians at the time had 4. Like, it could be that we actually go, we're going to have 7 detachments this one, and then another 8 detachments here, and then eventually everyone's got 2 or 3, and then everyone's got 4, and
I think what you do, right, is we go in, because it doesn't work off the back of an index. It only works in the edition after the edition's been indexed, because everyone's got their codexes. So going into 11th edition, you go, your indexes and your codexes don't exist. You all have one detachment, a new detachment. You all have one detachment each. And then every 3 or 6 months, I would probably go every 6 months because of the length of an edition. Every 6 months you go, here's your second detachment.
For everyone.
And then, because that would come at Christmas. So you get your new edition in summer, and then at Christmas you get your Grotmas, and then in the summer you get the next one, so everyone's on 3. So by the end of the edition, you've scaled up everyone's army without it going mental.
I kind of like that, but I kind of like the excitement of having your army release. Like, it's fun when all your stuff comes out in it.
I like that.
But you can still do releases. It's just you'll lean into a narrative book, a new model set, some dice. Maybe you can make some objective tokens or whatever.
Yeah,
true.
I think you could still do that. It just wouldn't be an actual rules release.
Or maybe you release more. So you have your faction one every 6 months. You get one when the book comes out, and you get one every 6 months at the same time as everyone else. And then what you do when you have chapter approved, it's not really a thing anymore. We just have the mission packs now. But when that comes out, we get generic detachments.
Yeah.
One detachment that everyone can use.
I like that.
Right?
I'm into that.
So you go, here is a spearhead detachment, and it's all about fast units. That get the most out of the fast units in your army. So it's a detachment where you get advance and charge on units with fly or / cavalry / mounted / beasts, right? And those units in your army get advance and charge, and you have some strats associated with those specific units. And it becomes like a seasonal thing where you can go, well, this mission pack's all about fast stuff. The next one's all about big guns, so it's all about units that are heavy. And the next one you go, this one's all about characters.
I would if you start the edition, I'd index it with everyone getting 2 detachments rather than 1, because one detachment at the start of 10th was a bit shit.
Yeah, doing like basically 2 years of one detachment for an army was a bit sad.
Yeah.
And then it's exciting. But what it does then is, because if they go, here's a thing every 3 months, they've only got 3 months. But if you go, you've got 6 months to come up with a detachment for every army, and you've got 6 months to play test it and make sure that they're not terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, James Workshop.
Yeah.
Right, should we jump into the fan stuff?
Yeah?
The fan funding stuff. Did you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
I can read it if you want.
You haven't read it for a while.
Is that because you want to read it?
No, I don't mind. Either way, Joe.
Oh, okay. Oh. I thought this is a weird test.
No.
This is oddly
Thank you, Ockingdor,
stressful.
for 1 gifted membership.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill Thompson-Stewart. 1 gifted membership.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary P. 2 bins in, isn't it, Joe's P time? No, I have to wait an hour.
Minimum.
That's
the
my
rule
rule now. I wait an hour minimum, you know.
Otherwise
Also,
you get tased.
yeah. Also, my ADHD brain loves new detachments. I hope they do it regularly. It's breathed new life into my demon army.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's I like it. I think it's great. Obviously, when new stuff comes out, us internet people are going to give our opinion on it.
Yes.
You know?
Well,
And people that watch the internet will also give their opinion on it.
so Tom's just touched on something which is actually quite important, and this is prevalent in Gary's super chat as well, where he says, "There's breathe new life into my demon army." World Eaters players before Grotmas, as well as other armies as well, not just
Loads
World
of
Eaters,
them, yeah.
but World Eaters players for specific, because me and Tom are both World Eaters players, have had 1 detachment
Yeah.
for the whole of 10th edition.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Grotmas has finally given us a new detachment to play. And again, it's not just World Eaters, there are other factions out there that are suffering the same. Thousand Suns, for example.
Thousand Suns got
Grey
really
Knights,
unlucky
etc.
because their one sucks.
So yeah, Thousand Suns got super unlucky because they got a new detachment and it's shit.
Yeah.
So they're still only really playing 1 detachment. If they, in the new edition, if they do the same as they've done so far with Codex releases, where they spread the Codex releases out over the course of the whole edition, they have 4 or 5 detachments every Codex release, but they continue this,
Yeah.
at least there's a chance you're not going to have 2 years with one or 2.5 years with one detachment.
Yeah.
I think that's really
definitely.
good, and I think that makes it more exciting. With World Eaters, I'm excited tonight to play World Eaters only because so far I'm yet to play Vessels of Wrath. I didn't realise that till the other day because Tom and I have talked about Vessels of Wrath loads because I think it's a fucking great detachment.
I like it.
And I haven't yet had a chance to play it, and I'm excited to play it because it's a new detachment. It's a bit different.
Yeah. Vessels of Wrath just makes your army way more efficient at what it does.
I don't think it does.
Well, it means that you can roll your dice, and you know every turn that 3 units are going to have exactly what you want it to do,
Yeah.
and then you've got everyone else get something random. But you know,
True. You do genuinely lose out quite a lot of damage after losing +1 attack, +1 strength.
do you need the extra attack on 8
You
bound?
genuinely do sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we played like against Deathwing or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like I'm damage 1, cool. But it's more. It does genuinely take more thought at the start of each battle round than the index one because
Yeah.
you've got to think: do I need advanced charge to get over there? Do I need to kill this thing so I give everyone lethal and sustained? Do I just need to move quicker? Do I need to survive more? So
I
like,
suppose it puts a bit more tactics into the army.
it's a different play style than the index one, which is what you want in an extra detachment. You don't want the same thing but worse or better.
Which in itself should be really, really praised because it's often
Yeah.
quite difficult to do that with a faction that is, I just have axes.
Yeah, I just punch you really hard.
I don't have any fly. I don't really have any bikes or cavalry. I just run across the table and punch you.
Yeah.
So for GW to be able to come up with a detachment that gives you a different play style with an army that has a restrictive number of data sheets and a restrictive play style is quite good.
I think it is one of the best ones they wrote, honestly. Like the way they did it to actually make it a viable option and a different play style to the index one, that's what you want. Because you look at the Thousand Suns one, the exact opposite, does the same thing as the index one, but worse in every way.
Yeah, exactly that.
So, yeah.
Also, it's not just a demon update detachment. This one, the way to look at it is like it's also a Chaos Space Marine detachment.
Yeah,
well.
true.
Like you don't get all the Chaos Space Marine stuff, but you can still take 1,000 points. Like I've got an entire army of deep striking. You could take because they're still battle line. You can still take 6 units of legionaries.
It was a bit
all
of a
with deep
shock
strike.
when we were playing and you were like, these 10 Havocs with las cannons will now deep strike.
Yes.
I was like,
That's a thing they can do now.
whoopsie.
Yeah, honestly, I really like that detachment, and I'm going to try and find a way to make it work.
I reckon it.
And the fact that I can now just deep strike 10 las cannons or 15 las cannons, and just
Yeah,
be like,
if you wanted to.
with
I
that.
think that one's really good, but I also think that's going to take some thought and some playing
Yeah,
to
it's-
actually really get into it.
Yeah,
Chat, I've woken up. Look.
yeah, because both of us
Jeez.
played the guy who ran the 3 Great
God,
Unclean
yeah.
ones, Rotagus, and the 3
It's Soul
Grinders,
Yeah,
which is like the most oppressive version of that army.
it's an insane army.
It just kind of hits into you and just keeps pushing you until you're
it's
pushed.
just constant pushing
Yeah.
from a bunch of chonks.
Yeah, but now it's even better because
Because just run it in this
Bellicor
one.
just gives the reroll ones to hit.
And then -1 of wound of strength, side, and toughness because they're Nurgle.
Yeah, you lose out on Rotagus, but you're like, meh.
I think you're all right with that.
Yeah, I think you're fine with
You
that.
could also Nurglings are so annoying in that one now because
really good.
they're -1 of wound of strength, side, and toughness.
Yeah.
and they get +1 toughness if the Great Unclean ones near them.
Yeah. But I suppose going from toughness 3 to toughness 4 versus most things, like, isn't huge. But when, like,
It's pretty big.
When they start bringing out things like heavy bolters and assault cannons, you're like, wee.
Yeah.
Like, las cannons are
There's a lot of strength 6, strength 8 going around,
Yeah.
so like it does legit change it. Yeah.
Have a play around. I like it. Detachment. I think it's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. Thank you, Wee Man, for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Nick. Love you. He is vegetarian, Joe.
Yeah. Well, how do you know? I could have said, I hope that you get given a puppy.
Oh.
And you can't eat it because he's vegetarian.
And because of laws.
I don't think many people that get given a puppy typically then just eat them, Joe.
No, they don't.
Yep, correct.
Put me in these compromising situations.
Well, or do you put yourself there?
Tack the Unknowing. Dark Angels have too many. I'd be happy with just non-Space Marine ones. Deathwing, Ravenwing, Greenwing, 1 combo. tweaks needed, e.g. Deathwing terms battle line in Deathwing. Battle Shock can do actions in Green Wing, etc., but otherwise all narrative.
I get that. I think it's tough, isn't it? There's a balance to be struck. Some factions would suggest they don't have enough detachments because a few of them are bad. Custodians being case in point prior to Grotmus and this latest release. Some factions would suggest they've got far too many detachments, Space Marines, maybe even Eldar.
Dark Angels 100% do.
I think there's a balance to be struck there, to be certain. The Dark Angels was, if you got 4 detachments in Dark Angels and every single one of them was playable, had play, and was narrative, yeah, you'd probably be happy with all 4. Probably wouldn't want access to Gladius. The issue you've got is, if you've got access to 4 Dark Angels detachments and 2 of them are kind of meh and one of them's all right and one of them's maybe good, but then you look over at your other Space Marine players who've got Gladius, you go, well, I'd just rather have that.
Yeah.
Better. So I think, in principle, I fully agree with what Tank's saying, but that requires GW to actually be putting out nothing but playable detachments, which is I'm sure what they're trying to do. It's just, as we've seen, as we know, they often don't quite hit the mark with that.
Well, I think the problem is they also need not just striking a balance in terms of whether it's good or bad, but they also need to strike a balance between competitive and narrative.
Agree.
That's true.
Because they need to remember that people that play the game aren't just playing at tournaments.
No, quite.
And like receiving a detachment for Green Wing, or the new one, which is Deathwing and Raven Wing combined. That was that.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Not a great detachment, but narratively kind of makes sense because the two are working together doing a thing. So they've given you a way to play the army in a cool, fun way. But the problem is that doesn't translate well if you want to use both of those units competitively, because the things that they do just don't do a great job. You go, cool, that's a really cool way of playing the game, but the stratagems are terrible compared to Gladius.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm going to continue to run Gladius, but
Problem is Gladius is so insanely good that every Space Marine player that will play that then.
Yeah, I think but what is quite nice to do is that when you go to a mate's house, maybe your mate's wants to try out a new army or something, you go, or you just want to go and have fun and drink beer and eat crap. You go, I'm going to take this detachment which I'm never going to take before. I might take the Night Lord's detachment to my friend's house this weekend.
Space Marines specifically, do you think there should be... So I know when we saw the Balanced Data State rules a little while ago that you did a little dance in your pants because you got all excited because they'd finally changed Oath so that you could no longer take the Blood Angels detachment and not take Blood Angels units and get new Oath.
Yeah.
And I know you were quite happy about that. Do you think... Actually, GW should be putting more restrictions on the interaction between different Space Marine chapters and detachments. So, for example, maybe generic Space Marines shouldn't have access to Blood Angels detachments. Maybe there should be a rule that says if you take a Blood Angels detachment, you have to take at least one Blood Angels character.
Well, the thing is, though, when the post, the kind of thing they said, that there was the idea that not non-codex compliant detachments. Right, they're some armies are like the reason they get +1 to wound is because they're codex compliant, right? So that would determine that Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Death Watch, their detachments aren't codex compliant.
Yeah.
So why would Imperial Fists be using a Blood Angels way of fighting?
Because it's better.
I think they just
maybe they just shouldn't have access to it because then
agree.
Yeah.
So that's where I agree with you.
So it can go I think the supplement guys can use the codex ones because they're we'll fight like everyone else today. But the codex, the ones who have strict adherence to the codex, shouldn't be playing.
But again, if you then end up in a situation where Gladius is the best, then all you're going to do is see loads of Blood Angels, Dark Angels players just playing Gladius.
I think they should just rip the band-aid off and actually separate all the independent chapters into separate codexes and stop them sharing stuff.
We did this before. They had supplements, then they went to individual books, and they've gone back to supplements.
I think they should, given how annoying the crossover stuff has been for writing rules and changing stuff and the amount of updates they've had to do, just make him a separate army.
Or
at least then people only have to buy one book as well.
So
exactly.
In the new detachment, the Bellicor detachment, there is a list of units you can take.
Yeah. Oh.
Just do that in detachments. In this detachment, you can take these units.
Yeah.
Done. So you go, say you've got Angelic Host for Blood Angels, right? You can take Dante. You could take all the units in the codex that have jump packs. You could take all the units in the codexes that have wheels and can fly, but you can't take units with the Gravis keyword.
Right.
For instance, right? So that detachment becomes more streamlined about that thing. So if you
But
look
that was the intent with the way that stratagems were supposed to work, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the intent being, this stratagem works on infantry and mounted.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be taking dreadnoughts.
yeah.
But it hasn't really done that.
But because the problem is that sometimes the detachment rule is so good, you don't care about enhancements or stratagems
but
because it becomes so self-reliant.
Equally, sometimes the detachment is so generic that people go, well, I'm not going to touch one with all the restrictions on it. I'll just touch the generic one because I can do whatever I want then.
But then even like the generic one, so you take the Stormlance formation, right, which gives everything in the army advance and charge. But the stratagems are targeted towards mounted and units in transports.
Yeah.
But you go, but this detachment's really good with assault marines and giant wolves for some reason. You know?
Well, they are mounted.
Well, they are mounted,
to be fair.
but it's like, I've got 3. You could take 3 Brutalis and 3 Death Company dreadnoughts in that detachment. They get no stratagem or enhancement benefits, but you've got 6 Brutalis that advance and charge.
And it'd be terrible.
My personal opinion,
It'd be terrible, but it'd be funny.
My
Yeah, it'd be
personal
good.
opinion,
It'd be fun.
My personal opinion is I'm kind of aligned with Tom on this one nowadays. Now I'm like, just release a Dark Angels Codex and take certain units out of it. So if you're going to go Dark Angels, yeah, cool, you get access to Deathwing Knights and you get access to Black Knights, you get access to the Lion. But there's actually some stuff you don't get access to because you can't just have it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think if you've got Inner Circle companions, you don't get Blade Guard. If you've got Deathwing Knights and Deathwing Terminators, you don't have access to Assault Terminators.
Agreed,
Yeah,
exactly.
They need to
100%.
do what they've done to the 4 Chaos Legions, but in the way they should have done it, where they actually do keep some stuff from Space Marines as well.
Yeah.
So they get their own army. So Blood Angels army rule just becomes +1 attack and strength on the charge. They get rid of both a moment, and then they make more detachments more interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's what you should do. I'm here for that.
Because this whole crossover thing is like, it's brought up so many issues over the whole of
and also
Definition.
it's that case of like the points for Assault Intercessor jump packs are fixed.
Yeah,
but Blood
exactly.
Angels ones were mental.
Exactly, that's one of the biggest crossover
And-
issues is that like Assault Intercessors and Blood Angels are mental,
Yeah.
and they're kind of alright in Space Marines.
Yeah, and what's happened is that the points of Assault Intercessor jump packs have gone up.
Yeah, because
So
of Blood
no
Angels.
one other than Blood Angels is just running them now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
but
like,
if you did separate them off, you could still have Assault Intercessors with the same rules in Blood
Yeah.
Angels, but you just put the points
it
up.
would be like in World Eaters where we have like the Mauler Fiend is more points because it's better in World Eaters or whatever.
Yeah.
But like in Blood Angels, it would be easier to sort all the points out for everything.
It's why when the supplement came out that we didn't see Blood Angels, Assault Intercessors, Blood Angels, Intercessors, just so they could go, these two need to be very different.
Yeah, well, I think they should have done.
Yeah.
Absolutely think they should
And
have
it's
done.
like, you got the Blood Angels captain, but you could still take a normal captain.
Yeah, it should
So
do
they
that.
didn't need a Blood Angels captain.
Yeah.
But if they were going to give it to them, they should have taken the normal one away.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's insane.
It should
Yeah,
replace a data
Yeah.
sheet rather than addition to.
Because the normal captain is better than the Blood Angels.
because like how many captains have Blood Angels got access to now?
They've got...
There's more than you can remember.
you can
Yeah.
you field an army of captains and
Yeah,
Just
you
run
can,
to-
you can.
Like 24 captains.
Because you can do Gravis, normal, jump,
kinda here
Blood
for that.
Angels, Death Company,
I kind of wanted to do that for a laugh.
Terminator. It would be funny.
Yeah.
But it would be a
I-
complete
I-
waste of time and money.
I
I
want...
think they might take fixed secondaries against you.
Yeah.
No!
Just
Why?
Potentially.
Why, Tom? Why?
Potentially.
We should do a stream about fixed secondaries soon because I don't know if I know anyone that takes them anymore.
I have only had one person take
It
fixed
depends on
against
what
me.
army
Me
like
too.
like.
the last few events I've done.
Me too.
It's normally Eldar players or Drakari
I had a
players
Chaos
take
Knight
fixed.
guy do it against me.
Mine was
Really?
Grey Knights. My opponent was Grey Knights.
The one time you should have taken fixed versus me, you didn't. and I
Yeah,
won.
that's the thing. Like I forgot it was even an option,
Yeah.
and if I had done it, I would have won.
The guy that I played against was Grey Knights and he took behind enemy lines and deployed teleport homers and
Yeah.
just maxed it.
Yeah, I
I
thought.
couldn't stop it.
Yeah, I played against a guy doing Chaos Knights. He did that, but he just used the Demon Allies to do it all game essentially.
Oh, the Nurglings and the
Yeah,
little.
yeah.
like,
Well, you can't do a Nurgling, but yeah, like
an hour.
oh, it's his time. Bye, Joe.
Hey, Meg, how's it going? Is Liam feeling okay today? I've been in this shitty mood for a few days now, Evan.
You have been a bit grumpy.
I don't know why. I can't put my finger on why. I've even apologised to Luce because I've been a right twat for a few days. I think it's just the world and fucking money and all that kind of normal stuff that stresses people out. So I don't think it's anything specific, but I've been in a right bad mood. Actually, streaming is one of the rare moments of the day where I don't think about the fact that I'm in a bad mood. I'm just enjoying doing a stream.
Yeah.
But with that, because of the way my brain works, I also get wildly tired all the time. And Tom will tell you, the last couple of weeks I've been tired all the time.
Yeah,
I think
true.
it's just stress. Luce was literally sat there with me yesterday going, "Are you worried you're a little bit depressed?" I said, "I don't think depression is the right word for it, to be honest with you, but I'm definitely stressed." It'll get better. It'll get better. I'm sick and fed up of shit weather. The sunshine of the last couple of weeks has made a big difference and helped me a little bit at least. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I apologise if I look a state, or if I look grumpy. I'm not scathing at you, team. Honestly. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, seasonal. What's it called? Seasonal affected.
Seasonal affective disorder?
Something like that, isn't it?
Some basically get sad in winter.
Something is dark, so I'm sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucy's got the kids every Friday for their home education. Lucy's with the kids. She's just like an international day of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow it's International or World Sleep Day. And I was like,
Sleep day.
does that mean I can just stay in bed
Yeah.
all day? And she's like, considering your current mindset, that's probably quite bad for you. You should probably get up.
This day I want a day off? I want to be in
Yeah.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something like it's something that I get very, very, very rarely. The kind of I just feel really down in the dumps. I don't have it very often. I'm normally quite upbeat. But you know, we try and encourage people to talk about issues and stuff like that, and we have a mental health section in Discord, etc. So it would be slightly irresponsible and disingenuous of me not to talk about it at least. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for people to go have 50 million gifted memberships. I'd love that, but not because I'm sad. That wouldn't be worth it. But I've just been grumpy. I've recognised it. I'm trying to sort it out. We'll get there. I get to come and spend time with Tom and Joe, which makes me feel happier.
Yeah,
all
you
the
can
time.
take it all out on Joe.
Yeah. I don't feel like it makes you happier. Just get more angry towards me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a release in itself, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. I fucking hate this
Joe
fucking
so
temper.
sucks up all the hate.
Joe's a wonderful human being.
True.
I just have the stress of having to worry about him as well as myself.
I can look after myself. I just choose not to. Well, I'm here. Like, you know, like it's like I could walk to the shop, or I could just make you carry me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just lie down.
I don't know if we have the strength for that one, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Just get some people.
Yeah.
So rope some people together. Thank you, Bravestar. Alara's Custodians plus Unleash the Lions, 18 uppy downy units who are better when not near
Who are
friendly.
butter?
Who are better.
Okay.
Mental. It's good
I
until you
love-
play a mission with kill points.
I love the idea of that.
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
Well, it's also how do you put 18 Alura's Custodian units on the table and not be within 6
I
inches of another
don't
one?
think there's enough
they-
space
are
on the
they-
board for that to work.
Aren't they like movement 5 as well?
They are movement 5, and
So
there's
you-
no advance and do stuff.
So you'd have to basically do it and then just charge off in every single direction.
You just have a
possible.
wall of dudes running around.
But you don't want the wall because you need to be 6 inches
Yeah,
apart.
that's the only handicap to this detachment is you can't be anywhere near your friends.
Yeah. But I think you managed it well when we played.
It's all right. I think you do probably want to lean into bigger-ish units most of the time. Units of one guy running around are actually kind of annoying. They kind of get in the way. Interesting about this detachment actually is that the Sis of Silence actually do get the army benefit of +1 hit, +1 wound.
Oh, do they?
It just says faction keyword Adeptus Custodians.
That makes the greatsword ones interesting.
So
I really like the
Alea
greatsword.
has AB3 damage 3 on her sword and has gone down to 60 points.
Yeah.
And has
She's
fights
good.
first.
Yeah.
And scout.
I like the idea of her with like 5 sword sisters. Maybe
She
in
an
a
angry
final.
bitch now.
What's really annoying though is so she leads any unit of Sister Silent essentially, but she has scout. The only ones that also have scout are the fire ones and not the sword ones, which is a pain.
Although the fire ones are +1 to wound.
The fire
are
ones,
quite interesting.
as we saw, are pretty good. Not gonna lie, like having basically auto hitting and then +1 to wound shots.
Do we think
Pretty
this is
good.
now the best custodian detachment?
Maybe. I think Shield Host. I still think is really good.
Shield host is really
But I think like if you've got +1 to hit and +1 to wound, that makes up for the sustained on 5s.
That's the thing. I
Because
don't
sustained
know.
on 5s gives you more
That's the thing. I don't
Sustained
know.
on 5s gives you more
I don't know
attacks.
what the maths is versus like having crit 5s or having +1 hit, +1 a wound. I don't know which one's better, honestly.
It makes your wounding more efficient.
This is definitely my favourite Custodian's attachment because this is how I like to play Custodians with like no big things, just loads of like Custodian guard running around murdering.
When I read it, I instantly thought it was going to become my favourite one for their particular faction. And I also I'm terrible. I'm fucking so bad for this. And I'm sure a lot of people out there in chat will be like, yeah, it's me too. And you'll build an army, right? You'll be like, this aura and that aura and this thing and that buff, and they be near them. And, if I take Eldrad, I can go Doom. And then what happens is I get to the game, I'm like, and I start moving my units around. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not within range of anybody else to do any of my things. So I can't use any of my buffs or auras or abilities. And my character can't say, do that thing better because he's not within 12 inches.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm like, but I want to be out of range of everybody. That's good.
You want to spread your load everywhere.
Yeah. So I feel like for me, this one is, and especially with Custodians and how Custodians should operate. I think
it's
my favorite.
really cool how it like powers up small units of Custodians that are just on their own fighting. I really like it.
I actually think that the person that benefits the most from it is the Blade Wizard.
I know. I think it's the Alara Shield Captain.
Yeah.
Alara Shield Captain. All 3 enhancements on him are amazing.
Surely Trajan does quite well out of it as well.
He's pretty good, but he still won 40 points and everyone else went down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But he does have...
And he can't get enhancements.
But if you've got 12 attacks...
Oh, he'll kill anything.
He'll just body Mortarion and a Wadder.
Is it just melee?
Yeah. Oh, no, it is shooting.
So, actually, Dawn Eagle jet bikes with bolters got really interesting.
I think it's not... It's excluding vehicles.
Vehicles can't have it, because then the Caladius tank would have just murdered everything in the game.
But Dawn Eagle jet bikes is the 2 damage bolters now.
They're pretty good. I think, honestly, Alaris shooting is really good. Because they have the blast grenade launcher and their spear gun, and they reroll all wounds against characters, monsters, and vehicles.
Yeah, this is the best attachment.
Yeah, I really like. I also really like it because Alaris are my favourite unit, and they're actually solid in this.
A couple of sick little stratagems in there as well, isn't there?
There's a couple I think I just forgot about, like move D6 after you get shot.
And that +1 to wound versus some armies is horrific. Like Eldar and Guard are going to hate it.
I don't think it matters against them.
Because you're hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s.
You should be doing that anyway.
Well, but in shooting as well.
Oh, in shooting.
Like, the Alaris Terminators can just come in from Deep Strike and be like, that 20-man unit of Guard with a character in it is just dead.
Yeah, they will legit do that because it will be blast as well on all 6 of their guns if you have 6.
If it's a 20-man unit, it's +4.
Yeah.
And like the enhancements are also, they're all really good enhancements. Like you actually have to pick which one you want because you can only take 3. And like so the Alaris Captain has the rule where once per game in a phase, you can put all damage to 1 going against him. And then you can give him the enhancement where he gets back up on a 2+. So all damage goes to 1 against him. And then if he does die, he just pops back up.
Yeah.
On 4 wounds.
And then you spend a CP when he goes to damage to 1. So when he pops back up again,
you do it
can
again.
still reduce all damage to 1.
It's actually massive. Even even just all the bolt guns on the spears, the swords.
Yeah.
Sorry, the spears, the axes, and and on the jet bikes suddenly becomes decent against things like knights because you go to rooting on 5s.
Yeah,
which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a huge difference.
And guard reroll wounds when they're on objectives, so you will genuinely take down like quite some vehicles. You do some damage.
A unit of 6 bikes with the rapid fire 6 bolters. So that's 12 times 6.
No, so they get 3 rapid fire 3.
Oh, yeah, 3 rapid fire 3. I thought it used to be 6 plus 6.
Yeah. They're up to 6 in rapid fire. They're up to 6 attacks. Strength 4, -1, 2 damage.
18 shots.
-1.
Twin linked.
Potentially, yeah.
The bike bolters are -1, 2 damage.
Yeah.
I mean,
they got updated, Jay.
I mean, they could potentially kill a baby knight in 1 round of shooting.
Yep.
I still wouldn't run bikes personally, just because of.
I love the bikes, Tom.
I like bikes, but I prefer Guard and Alaris.
I like bikes.
Run bikes then.
I want to run. I want Joe to paint me an army of 18 Outriders.
Yeah.
For Space Marines.
Yeah. Well, no. Who else for? Not for orcs.
You can do.
I mean, I do want to do. I have got 18 bikes at home, which I do need to pay. I just need to pick a chapter for them to go into.
Just like bikes.
White Scars.
Yeah, White Scars. It seems to be the one. But if I do White Scars, we then need to invest about 200 quid.
Why?
Because because I've just got the bikes.
Oh, right.
And I've got some other bits, but I need the other units to go into the army. Probably speeders.
I just like bikes.
Get the funny quad bike thing.
No.
Yeah. The
You don't like
ATV.
it?
Let's get some
I hate
ATVs with
ATV.
multi-motors.
It's so funny.
Rock around with those bad boys. I'm into that.
No.
18 Outriders. How many can you put in a unit of ATVs?
You can put one in each or
One
something?
ATV in a unit. But if you've got the ATV and the chaplain, the entire unit gets dev wound in shooting.
You're not talking me out of this. This is a good idea.
So what I was looking at Dark Angels, right?
And then you get move blocked by a nerd.
So we were talking this after I ran Dark Angels the other day. Outriders are really good in Dark Angels now because the Ravenwing command squad can join them. And Samael can join Outriders, and their +1 damage applies to Samael. So he goes to AP3 damage 3. He gets +1 strength on the charge.
The Black Knight command squad goes to damage 3 as well with dev wounds, or are they damage 1 with dev wounds?
Damage 1 goes
to damage 2 with dev
but
wounds.
they've got the picks which go to damage 2 anti-infantry or anti-monster anti-vehicle 4+.
Dev wounds.
Yeah.
Fair. So you could do a Dark Angel with 18 bikes.
So we're saying add loads of Outriders to Ravenwing.
Yeah.
Could be done.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Probably easier to paint as well than Might Scars.
Yeah. And Samael gives the Outriders advanced shoot charge.
Oh shit, okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So 18 Outriders
Yeah. Yeah.
for Dark Angels. I fucking love Ravenwing.
Pretty cool. It's sad that they're kind of bad.
It was one of the first full Space Marine armies I ever collected. Because
really?
I like fucking motorbikes.
Custodians is the first army I did.
The only downside to Outriders is they take up a vast portion of the table.
Yeah.
And they die very quickly. So when the unit disappears, you're like, what happened to my army? It's this massive gaping hole
They
in the
got to be
table.
like super cheap now though, don't they? Surely.
Yeah, they are not many points.
Because they were real bad for a while.
Who Outriders?
Yeah.
I still think they are pretty bad.
I think they're like
probably
80,
are, yeah.
80 or 90 points maybe. Hang on a minute.
For 3?
Yeah.
That'd be quite cheap. Motorbikes. I just want them to release...
Outriders are 80 points for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we'd have to convert a bunch
Just like 480.
to make them so that the Black Knights were like the same size. Because Black Knights are little diddy bikes.
We've got the hovery ones. haven't
It's
we?
like Outriders are on 1000cc bikes, and then Black Knights are on like 125s. That's what it's like.
Yes.
Army of Bike, 1 weakness, buildings. Yeah.
Or a Nurgly.
It's the same for swarms.
Yeah.
Hey, little rippers, you can fit
What?
through a
This
tiny
should
hole.
do
Can't go through a building.
Custodies bikes, they can fly.
So we played a game. Me and Tom played a game earlier.
Yeah.
And I was running fiends and screamers, and I was like, "Why are you taking the juggernauts?" The corn was like the corn.
Oh,
juggernauts.
yeah.
I was like, "Blood crush." Okay, because they can't go through walls.
Why the hell can the stupid Sinesh horses go through walls and the Juggernauts can't?
I wrote an army list. I was sending you the army list as well.
Oh, is it?
Yours was a slightly different one for World Eaters. I sent a slightly different one to Joe, which was more 8-bound.
Yeah,
just
Joe
to really,
told me about that.
when I'm in a very irritable mood, what I try and do is just wind other people up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did bite a little bit, but I was looking at that, and I put some Juggerlords in. I think one had Lord and Vicatus and Juggerlord, the other one had 2 Juggerlords in. And I was looking at the list, I was like, this list is pretty good. But actually, I don't think I'd run the Juggerlords in the 8-bound. I think I'd just run them solo.
That's what I do.
Even if they don't have loan up, because otherwise the 8-bound essentially get fucking really slowed down by them.
Yeah,
because they can't go through walls.
I've run Lord of Vicatus every game I've ever played with World Eaters. I've never led him with 8-bound.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just runs around on his own doing stuff because he does have 11 attacks at damage 2.
So I look at the part where it says while leading a unit, which needs to fuck off in the next
I hate
edition.
that so
while
much.
leading a unit, this unit can fall back, advance and charge, or
Yeah.
fall back and charge, whatever. And I was like, oh, I really want to use that because he can't do it on his own. And I was like, but then it's not worth it because he just slows the unit down so
He
much.
slows him down, and what I've found with, you're very rarely in a scenario where you want to fall back and do stuff with 8-bound.
I think with the whilst leading a unit rules should be on abilities that character already has inbuilt.
Okay.
Right. So you look at Astrath, for instance. He gives his unit dev wounds when they charge, but he already has dev wounds on himself.
Right, yeah.
So he doesn't lose it.
Yeah.
Whereas a standard chaplain gives his unit +1 to wound, but the moment they die, he just becomes sad.
He's
He
a bit,
can't hit very hard.
a
anymore.
bit weaker.
So
yeah.
he should just have +1 to wound inbuilt. Like maybe we bring back keywords. You know,
There are keywords on there.
but not everything is a keyword. So +1 to wound.
But what you could do though, Joe, is you just remove the while leading a unit and just say models of this unit have +1 to wound.
Yeah.
Models in this unit have devastating wounds on a turn on which they charge. Yeah. If you do that, then you don't need to give it. You don't have to give them a keyword. You just go, it's an ability.
Yeah, 100%.
It's there. So when the chaplain's unit dies, models in this unit get +1 to wound. He's still got +1 to wound because.
That's one of the cool things about Custodian's characters is that they're all their once again abilities. They just have them. You don't have to lead a unit or anything. They just do it.
Into it. Okay. Skippy the Magnificent, thank you for the 5. I don't play enough to buy codexes for 10th, but I would pay £10 a month to access them all in the app alongside Warhammer Plus. We've done this to death.
So many times.
I think everybody agrees with you, Skippy, 100%. I think that there might be, maybe £10 wouldn't be the price point, but I think there's probably a price point where GW could legitimately get rid of codexes and see an uptake in the amount of people that are paying for Warhammer Plus just to get access to the rules. I think that's 100% what they should do. I think that they should give out. I don't know if this is the best financial decision in the short term, but in the long term, I think it is. I think they should give out rules for free via PDFs like they're doing right now. I think they should lock the app behind a paywall if you want to do list building. But I also think I personally think that they should expand the app. I don't know why they haven't done this yet. There's no way they can't afford it, and there's no way that it can't be done. But I think at the moment, what do you do when you go play in a game, Tom? You got your Game Workshop app for all your army rules, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you do if you want to start scoring points?
Go on the whatever it's called app.
ITC Battles.
The ITC Battles app,
Goon something.
By Goonhammer,
yeah. People that do it for free.
Why the fuck has the Warhammer 40k app not got a scoring app in it for the?
Mental, innit?
It's ridiculous.
And the fact that the Goonhammer ITC app is just free.
Yes, it's incredible.
You don't have to pay any subscription. It's not like it's kind of like BCP is like you get BCP for free, but if you want to look at lists or whatever, you have to pay a subscription.
Yeah.
Goonhammer's just like everyone has it for free.
So I think
everyone in the world uses this app for
I
free.
think they should put the scoring into the Games Workshop app. But the more you put in there, when you then put a price point on it and go, you unlock the list building, you unlock the scoring, you unlock this, you unlock that. People are a little bit more like, all right, cool. I don't mind. I get a lot for my money now.
So the thing is, though, the problem they've got, right, is that when Games Workshop started to charge, we were already using Battlescribe when Games Workshop didn't have an app. And I don't touch Battlescribe now. Because the 40k app is just flat better.
Yep.
I don't
much
mind
better.
paying for it because it's
With
better.
one exception,
Yeah.
when you want to add Legends units.
Yeah.
That's
serious. But the thing is, though, the problem is the Goonhammer app is really, really good and it's free. So if Games Workshop takes it and tries to put it behind a paywall, it has to be phenomenal. It has to be worth paying for. At that point, yeah.
Like I don't want them to encourage them to do this, but I would probably pay for the Goonhammer app if I had to.
Yeah. If
But again, if it all came under one central subscription for Games Workshop, you wouldn't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there. If someone said to you, you've got to pay £10, £15 a month, you get access to List Builder, unlimited lists, you get access to a scoring app, which directly also feeds fucking ITC, blah, 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 whatever.
All the rules in the game.
Etc., etc., etc. Because now, if you go on to Best Coast Pairings, you can now link your My Warhammer account.
Yeah, I don't know what that does.
Neither do I yet.
Yeah.
But that all goes into one app, and they go 10 to 15 quid a month. But also, you're going to get access to all of the stuff we're putting on the website for 3D PDF. You'll have it all in the app as well.
Be great.
Who wouldn't pay for that?
I'd pay for that.
The only annoying thing about that is that for some reason I got locked out of when I linked the BCP to Games Workshop.
Yeah.
It somehow screwed my password. Right, I couldn't log into into my Games Workshop.
Oh yeah, I
account, which meant that I couldn't use my app to make army lists. I couldn't go into Warhammer TV, and I couldn't see my account on the Games Workshop website.
I think it's very much a you problem.
I feel like that was your phone problem.
It was super weird.
Because then you logged in.
But I logged on there, fine, and then the next day couldn't log in on my.
But there's
home
other
computer
cool
either.
shit
Super
you could
weird.
do. Like I could come up. There's so much cool things you could do with this app where I feel like it wouldn't break the bank to make it work, and it's just positive stuff for the community. You could walk up to a table, me and Tom go up to play, and at the moment, what happens, right, is that you stand there and you talk through your list. So I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this, and blah blah blah. What you could do if you go across the tables and go Bluetooth there, go, there's my list, or AirDrop, there's my list, and you go, oh cool, and I could just open it in the app and it tells me everything. Like it's so easy to do all this stuff.
You could, because at the moment, what happens is when you go to tournament, you're both using the app. And at the end of the game, you have a massive argument because there's 2 points off you both scored it slightly differently. In this one, you could just have like it linked together somehow and have it both change. You can both change the score essentially as you go through it.
Super
so you don't
easy.
have to score both of you doing it in 2 separate games. You do it in one.
Super easy. I think you're right, Skippy. I think most people would pay a increased subscription price to have access to all of this stuff.
100%.
100%.
There's also an app, a painting app, isn't there, where you list all the paints you need to paint
Yeah,
your army.
it's not. There is a couple of them, I think, where you can like kind of. It's like a digital model, and you can change the colour
attach
of
that
it.
to your army list. Like, what army do I'm doing Black Legion? What colours do I need to paint?
Well, yeah,
my
they
Black
could even
Legion?
like put in a thing, putting like this is how this colour would look on this model. Essentially, like it probably wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, and someone's saying, oh, you need like a link from the app, but they need to link the data slates in the app to the Games Workshop website. So if you go, oh, I want to see what Centurions do. Well, they're quite good.
Citadel Colour, the
Yeah.
app, that one.
Yeah.
Skip. There you go.
They should link it to.
Your recent projects, recent colours, your wish list.
Oh, you mean like you look at a unit, you
And you-
want the unit, there's a link to buy it.
you
yeah.
go paint by model, look, go into there.
Yeah?
Paint the Horus Heresy, because you don't play it, no one plays it.
No.
Paint the captain. There's all the colours.
Okay.
Add all paints to wish list.
So that.
Add all paints to wish list, right? You then go to your wish list. Where's my wish list? Home. And it's all the paint. See all that, right? Boom.
Right, yeah.
But it doesn't let you. What's weird with the wish list though is it doesn't let you. Like I feel like click on it, go to the website.
What does it
Nah.
do?
Nothing.
Can
It's just
you
your
buy
wish list.
them, or is it just on the wish
Yeah,
list?
but you'd have to go to the website and then
Yeah.
look at your wish list and go.
Oh, right.
Well, it should
But
do
I'd
is add to
imagine-
your wish list on your account.
But it does,
Maybe.
I would imagine it does if I'm logged in. I'm not logged in.
But that
It's
could,
not an app.
they could put that in the app.
It's
as
not a
well.
good app. I forget I have it so frequently because it's not a good app.
I didn't even know it existed.
It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, Dor, thank you for the 5 bucks. Think GW might add points values into detachments for specific units they want used. I don't see that ever happening. If they're going to come away from granular points for a plasma pistol, I can't see them going, a unit of custodian guard in this detachment is 100 points, and in this detachment is 150 points. I can't see it
No, I
being,
don't think
it's
they will.
too much confusion.
I'd
I'd rather they just went back to granular points.
Yeah, I'd prefer that mostly. I'd prefer it if I quite like the detachments that have come out for this one because none of them are like your rules only affect these 2 units. They're all the detachments are like these rules do affect all the units in your army. However, it's up to you to decide which ones are actually good in this detachment. So it gives you a bit more choice. So you can actually use all your stuff. You don't have to go buy 60 Tyranid warriors to play the detachment. I prefer it when it's more of an open detachment you can like figure out for yourself.
Yeah.
Rather than being told what to do by the detachment.
Mikey says as well, by the way, if Games Workshop slightly rises the pricing, if access to all the codexes, the sub-numbers would explode and people would be encouraged to start new armies as they can see their rules beforehand. That last part, I don't think people quite realise how important that is.
My God, yeah.
I found it really odd that like Emperor's Children didn't go onto the app.
I did think it was odd.
Because
I also thought
because
it was odd.
It's a new faction.
You'll like this one as well, Joe,
Yeah.
before you because I know you want to talk about it. I also thought it was odd that they released a new Chaos Demons Index.
Yeah.
And in the new Chaos Demons Index, it still says World Eaters could take Khorne Demons, Thousand Suns could take Tzeentch Demons, Death Guard could take Nurgle Demons, and it still says Lucius the Eternal could take Slanesh Demons.
if he is your warlord.
Yeah.
In Chaos Space Marines.
I still thought that was really odd.
Yeah.
Have you seen on that all demon detachments can take CSM allies now?
I didn't know.
So like you can just take cultists in like the Blood Legion if you want to. Which is
Well, that's
quite
good.
interesting. At least on the app it let me do it. I don't know if that's what I assume that's what they intended.
Talk about not adding Emperor's Children then, Joe, because you had a point to say.
I'd say I found
interrupted
it odd because the codex is out. People that bought the box set they'll be receiving this weekend, if they want to make an army list, they have to write it on pen and paper. Right? They can't use the points that are in the book. They have to use the points on the Games Workshop website. So you need to have your book open, you have to have your phone open, and then you have to write down your army list. And that's only for people that have it now, right? Whereas if they put the codex on the app now, people that don't own the codex can write army lists because you can still write an army list, you just can't see the rules.
right.
So it means the people that own the books now could put their rules in, see the rules, write army lists, do it that way. But the people that don't own the book can still write an army list and kind of get an idea in their head of the units they want to buy.
Yeah, true.
So it means that when that stuff goes on pre-order, those people are already like
I wanna
ready
buy
to
this,
go. They
this,
know
and
exactly
this.
what they want.
Yeah.
Or they go and shop around at third-party retailers and buy everything they need. So then when it goes on pre-order, they just pick up the stuff that they want.
Yeah, that is a weird choice.
Yeah,
It's
because it creates hype.
It's their weird mentality of like, it's not really the release yet,
Yeah, it's
so
not
we're not
out
doing
yet,
it. So we're
'cause
going to do it when they're actually out.
There is technically an Emperor's Children index that already exists.
Yeah.
But it's 2 data slates, and what's annoying is that on the app, the index is part of the Chaos Space Marine Codex. So in terms of coding, right, you're not overwriting that. You're creating entirely new sections.
Yeah.
You're actually creating an entire Emperor's Children Codex section. So it's not going to step on the feet of the index like when Guard went from index to new codex.
I still think it's hilarious that they took the brand new army and even then changed the points from the book to the actual release.
Yeah, because things are they would have been play tested originally versus unit armies that were being play tested at the time.
Yeah.
/ ones that already exist.
Where did it say that you could take Chaos Space Marine units in?
Oh, I just literally went on the app, made an army, and put Chaos CSM in it.
That's interesting because it's not. I don't have an option here on the Blood Legion detachment, nor is it in the Chaos
Demons, Strike Force,
Codex.
Incursion.
So I'm just literally on allied units on there, and it says this is the CSM stuff you can take.
For Blood Legion?
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's a mistake.
Allied units. No, it's in Demonic Incursion as well.
Yeah, but I still would imagine it's a mistake. If you could tell me where the rule says you can do that.
Don't know.
Because I don't know where the rule says.
I was surprised when it came up.
I wonder if that's...
But in the Shadow Legion, Joe, is it allied units putting CSM in, or is it just units? It's allied units.
Yeah.
Okay, I reckon then it's probably an app error.
Yeah.
Maybe. Be cool if it wasn't, though.
I think it's an app error, Tom, I'll be honest with you.
Well, we're going to abuse it.
I went straight looking for it immediately, like, where has it said that? And
I was really surprised. I was like, oh, I'll just put some cultists in, I guess.
Yeah. But...
Because that's gone under the radar.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's what's supposed to have happened. Only the Shadow Legion. Yeah, I'd imagine it's only the Shadow Legion and they broke it for everything else.
Yeah.
But we'll use it.
Yeah. I haven't played the Shadow Legion. I was looking at it and I was like, the weakest part of that codex are the weakest part of that detachment are the Chaos Space Marines in terms of the options that you have to take.
You probably are.
Because Havocs fill a slot that Chaos Demons don't have.
Big guns
in like las cannons and stuff. You could take the big chickens, and they're good, but they're D3 damage, so they're not
great.
But they put out a number of shots, but the Havoc is just cheaper, right? You don't need possessed because you have possessed equivalent.
You don't need any melee units. Let's be honest.
Like Legionnaires are 90 points. You're not going to take the bolt gun variant.
I think you take cultists.
You take cultists. You take Havocs. Like, I really like Raptors because they fit in the detachment really well but they already have built-in deep strike.
Yeah.
But they do move 12. But what they do is they what they do right is force battle shock tests on people.
Yeah.
So I was thinking what I should have done in our game is if you run units of Raptors with your greater demons, right, especially someone like Bellicor, is that in the battle shock test, if they're both in the same combat, the Raptors force battle shock tests on people at -1.
Yeah.
But your opponent counts as being in the shadow of the warp. So if you fail the battle shock test, not only you battle shocks, you take mortal wounds as well. I can't remember if it's a -1 as well. So you could be like -2 on your leadership test and taking mortal wounds before it starts. They have a good synergy. It's not world ending, it's not groundbreaking, but it's good. Be like, I really want to take Terminators, but Terminators are slow. Their shooting is mid.
Very
and
mid.
They're more survivable than Demons in the sense they've got a 2-up save and a 4-up invuln, but they're still only toughness 5 with 3 wounds. Like you're better off just taking anything else that's faster.
I do wonder if the actual way people end up running this, like from a competitive standpoint, is just all demons.
I was looking and I was like, do I just take demons and 3 units of las cannon havocs?
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the way it went forward. I'm just struggling to think of like the list of units you have in there. Like, what I'd just rather take the demon stuff mostly.
It's like Shadow Legion Terminators have uppy downy.
Yeah,
but it's 180 points for 5.
Not fun.
Right.
And you could just do uppy downy with flesh hounds for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but there's a stratagem where you can have a unit of Heretic Astartes and a demon unit. So 2 units get uppy downy for 1 CP, which is incredible. But on Terminators, it's wasted efficiency.
Yeah, I wouldn't do Terminators. I would do Havocs. Uppy downy Havocs.
Because they get 3 attacks each, the Terminators. But only 3 of them have a damage to weapon.
But more importantly, like the best uppy downy units are ones that shoot.
Yeah.
Terminators don't really shoot, realistically.
No, what you want is uppy downy havocs with either auto
Can
cannon.
You do obliterators?
You can't take obliterators because they would have been on the table.
Yeah.
Right? What you do is you take havocs with auto cannons, but they're AP1, las cannons or heavy bolters.
Probably las cannons.
Probably las cannons because they can still dark backed.
Yeah.
Cultists because they're literally the cheapest option you can take to hold objectives.
And they sticky objectives.
Whereas the only demon unit can do it is plague bearers.
And they're like 110 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've written the best army, Joe.
What's that?
For Chaos Space Marines. 3 Dark Communes, 2 Firebrands, 120 Cultists, 3 max units of Accursed Cultists, 3 units of Felgor Beastmen, and 3 units of Trait Guardsmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for...
your opponent can't kill it all.
It's basically 2,000 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people. Just wondered if you could do it with just nothing but like tough to 3 bodies.
Oh yeah,
you can.
And then you like round 1, you pair into that one insane guy that's like bought narrative flamer salamanders
or
like 18
Orc Warhorde.
Yeah,
they're just like
that one insane person.
Or to be honest, the new orc shooting thing that'll just be like they're all dead.
Yeah, but
all the cultists all the time.
All the cultists all the time.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, World Eaters is quite a good cultist army to run.
It's when
you
you're
do 120 and you give them all a 500 bun off a Demon Prince.
Your opponent sees you and just picks up, just puts their hand into a bag and just pulls out a chest clock.
Yeah, it just appears.
In fact,
you just have a movement phase.
120 jackals is quite interesting though.
Yeah,
5+ invulnerable save, 5+ feel no pain.
Someone did quite well at LGT, I think, with that list.
120 jackals?
Yeah, well, it might have been 110.
How many members? When we're on 72 members, Ash. Thank you for asking. I'm trying not to mention it because I don't want people to think it's because I'm being all sad.
Yeah.
Rambo, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Rambo. I hope that for the rest of the year, every time you go to an event that requires you to have to sit down, you always get the aisle seat.
Good shit.
We also are coming up to the end of the super chats as well. We've only got 3 more to go. If you've got things you want to say about what we've talked about, now's the time to get it in. Brandon, like I say, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships.
Oh my god,
20 is good.
Thank you,
that's
Brandon.
a big number.
I hope every time you cook something from Frozen, it cooks perfectly, both inside and out.
That's good.
Yeah,
Rate that.
and that also goes for in the microwave as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than then when you cook like a microwave lasagna and it just gets that weird little pool of water on the top, and it's literally the temperature of the sun on the outside, and it's just
ice.
Ice in the middle.
Nice.
Kazari, thank you for the 5. I would give some flowers that one critique I've not heard of. What? Hang on. I would give some flowers that one critique I've not heard is of the detachments being the same nor predictable, e.g. the uppy downies feel varied.
When I was talking about the fact that they have to make up different versions of...
Is that in English?
I don't know.
Has he done it on an iPhone?
I would give some flowers.
Yeah, while sliding down a hill blind.
That I've not heard is of
with his
detachments being the
toes.
same nor predictable.
Do you want to put it in chat?
Thanks for the 5.
Yeah. But also what's weird, right, is that some detachments that get uppy downy get 1 CP, removed units from table, goes in reserve, or 1 CP, 2 units go into reserve, but they have to be of the different factions, so like demons and Chaos Space Marines can go into reserve, or Emperor's Children, 2 CP, 1 unit of Demonettes can go into reserve, but it can come back within 6 of one of your enemy
there
unit.
is way too much uppy downy in the game, personally.
If you are going to stick a postcard in before the end of the show, because currently we're only on 40 beans, please can you make sure that you actually write it in English? That'd be really helpful for us reading out.
Yeah.
Wait, that was less than 30 minutes.
I know, but
He halves it each time.
It's fucking unreal.
Be
honestly.
15 after the next
We'll
one.
start docking in pay each time.
Yeah. They should time him.
I'll see sort of win. I have long legs, so bugger being folded up like a pretzel. Yeah. So I have to go premium economy when I fly, at least, just for a bit of leg room. Otherwise, I can't fit.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Well, that's a lie. I can fit. It's just incredibly uncomfortable.
Just be sad.
Yeah.
What detachment would you want for like a new one going forward? What army that you play do you think needs a detachment the most? Bearing in mind you now play every army.
I don't play every army. So I've got into Chaos Knights recently.
That's true, yeah.
And they need a different detachment. That being said, the detachment they brought out, there's another case in point, right? Their detachment is good. The detachment they brought out with the cultist one is also fucking cool, and I really like it.
It's awesome narrative, probably not that good in terms of winning stuff, but awesome, cool shit.
No, yeah. So I think Chaos Knights need one as well. But actually, if I was going to have one, I'd probably have World Eaters.
Yeah.
As a fave. But what I would like to see is, and we'll probably see this in the Codex anyway. What I would like to see is, now I've seen what they've done with Emperor's Children. I'd like to see a World Eaters detachment that incorporates the demon stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
it's good.
Isn't dog shit.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of people that did comment after Joe ran that detachment and went, it's not that bad, it's just you haven't got the units for it. There's some cool combinations in there.
That is true.
And that's probably true. But one of the things I miss the most is, and I have the book either at home or it's on my shelf through there, which you would have never played, was Codex Khorne Demon King.
I have heard of this one just
book.
because of the amount of times people have said to me it was good.
It's goat tier.
Yeah.
It was fucking incredible. Codex Khorne Demon King was literally the best.
I was really hoping that would be the vibe with these new Chaos Codexes coming out.
But you saw me run the Blades of Khorne, didn't you, for AOS? Where they had what is essentially the
yeah.
Every time you kill something, you get a point.
Blood Tithe.
So Khorne Demon King was a few Chaos Space Marine units, including like Khan, what have you, and then a few demon units that you could take to build your army. Cool, okay. You didn't get everything from both, but you did get some stuff. And then you generate blood tithe points when you died or your opponent died, much like Miracle Dice. But you could spend your blood tithe points. The first 4 blood tithe points gave you some kind of bonus. So it would have been like a sustained or whatever, or you gain rending or whatever those keywords were back then. The next 4 you could spend after that. So if you spent 5, 6, 7, or 8 blood tithe points, got you more demon units on the table. If you spent 8 blood tithe points, you brought a bloodthirster onto the table for free.
Yes. Good stuff.
Yeah. The Blades of Khorne one, you can spend 8, but your bloodthirster has to have died.
So it's basically Angmar coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, I really missed 9th edition Blood Tithe for World Years. That was great. That was a good time.
What I do miss is being able to summon demons.
Yeah, I miss summoning demons.
Right.
Psychics could do that.
Yeah,
Fucking
Psychics
cool
tried to summon demons, great, but obviously it got silly because some armies were really efficient Psyker armies.
Yeah.
I don't miss any faction being able to summon demons. That was silly.
That's insane.
But I'd like the idea that if they made like Thousand Suns, their Cabal points more like summoning points.
Yeah, it could be cool. It's a bit of a weird. Trying to balance that would be a bit weird.
But I don't know, because like if you look at how GC Occult work,
point system.
The point system, you've got 10 points, where it is, and you can bring units back.
If it was a Khorne, say, you like get points off killing units, like you get more if you kill like a character or something, then a certain number of points gets blood letters, or a load of points gets a bloodthirster or something. The
blood tithe was exactly what I wanted to see from World Eaters.
Yeah.
I miss it so much. Khorne says Khorne Demon King was the greatest codex ever released. I honestly flat agree.
I've never heard someone complain about it.
It was the best they've ever done.
Be happy, yeah.
It was the best they've ever done by far.
And that was the only one they ever did.
Yeah,
it was.
It's just sad.
Well, what I like is that some factions, especially like demons and things in Age of Sigmar, which I'd like to see come across to this, mainly because I've got really into playing demons, is that like they've got stratagems, which like 1 CP, where you could bring a dead unit back, but you get half the models rounding up. which gets you a bit more efficiency. But you don't get it on Screamers, Fiends, and Blood Crushers. You only get it on your battle line units or something, just to make it feel like, like you're getting something.
Yeah, I'm into that.
I really wish they did it more like AOS demons have it.
Yeah.
Where like it's just a unit in your army. It's not like an ally or anything. It's just like part of your army. Yeah. But they've kind of done the worst version.
Yeah.
Where it's only one detachment gets it properly, and it's not very strong because they don't get the army rule, do they? They get the detachment rules and like strats and enhancements, but they don't get the army rule, and they don't synergize that well with the rest of the army so far, at least.
Yeah, I want to see, because they've got the summoned keyword in Emperor's Children, which means nothing currently.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to see is that they change the wording in the Demon Index where you could take 500 points in, and like that goes away. And then maybe part of the balanced data slate goes, if you are Emperor's Children, you can take 500 points of summoned Legions of Excess. And then you can take 500 points of Legions of Slaughter, for Khorne. And then there's no limitations.
That would be way better.
And that'd be fine.
That would be way better.
Tank says, did my first tournament with Khorne, didn't McKin. Lost horrible in most games, but the one I did win, summoned 2 Bloodthirsters.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Baller.
I think they should have the narrative detachment of Angron and 8 Bloodthirsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want.
And drop all the points enough that I can also fit in 18 8-bound just to make it
Yeah. You take every unit 8 of. There we go.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah, and as long as you do that, it's allowed in 2,000 points. John McCardle, thank you. You fucking sexy human for 20 gifted memberships.
Oh, what a G.
Thank you, John. I hope the rumours for the Horus Heresy starter box set are true, and you do get Saturnine everything.
What are the rumours?
So the rumours are, not that we're a rumour channel.
We have no idea about any of this stuff's been true.
We've not spoken to the guys, but the rumours are that there's a new Horus Heresy edition coming this summer. The box set's going to be Salamanders versus Iron Warriors. I'm very excited because I just want to make an entire Iron Warriors army.
I would be also interested in that.
I can double up for 40k and Horus Heresy. But the talk is that it's going to get Saturnine Terminators, which is like the original Terminators, where like
are they the
shoulder pads go up all the way up here.
Weird ones.
They look like they look like a massive.
I remember Lutin made like an hour-long video about it, trying to figure out where the origin had come from, and he just couldn't figure it out.
And they look like the baddies from Fifth Element.
Yeah, they look real weird.
Yeah.
Do you like them? No.
What I find hilarious is like the heresy people are like, oh my god, Saturnine Terminators. I'm like, they look silly.
They look really dumb. The best ones are the ones that you've like combined. Is it Cataphracti?
Yeah.
You've combined them with your ones. Black Legion ones.
Yeah, so I've gone like not the Chaos Terminator bodies, but with the Cataphracti shoulder pads and arms. So they look a bit more like
they look
slabby,
really cool because they're like big.
Which is what I want to do for like my Iron Warriors ones.
I really want to do that.
If we took away Black Legion for you, if we took away World Eaters for you, what would be your favourite Chaos Legion?
Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors.
Straight in. You would be Iron Warriors too?
Yeah.
I thought you'd go Night Lords.
So
I honestly thought you'd go Night Lords.
I really like Night Lords.
I quite like Night Lords.
But I've always Iron Warriors got me into Warhammer.
Really?
Yeah. So when I was a young boy, growing up in the, growing up in Nook Country, right? I never really had. My mate gave me like when I was little, I played Warhammer a little bit, but I didn't really care. It was just models that my mates kind of had, but when I really got into Warhammer was my mate gave me a copy of Storm of Iron from Black Library because I'd never read a Black Library book.
Yeah.
And I read it, and it was all about Iron Warriors, and I was just like full mast.
Oh yeah,
whole, but it's just incredible.
And
just done.
My second favourite Legion would be Death Guard.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you liked Death
I love
Guard.
the narrative, but most of the narrative behind Death Guard I love.
Yeah.
Flight of the Eisensteins, great book.
That was very good.
Fucking thoroughly enjoy it. Lords of Silence, great book. Was slightly annoyed by the Nurglings, but loved
I've not
it.
done that one.
I don't really like Nurgle Demons. I love Death Guard.
I really like Death Guard pre-corruption. I'm not a huge fan of some of the weird shit they do after that.
I don't mind them post-corruption. It's up when the book's like, and a Nurgling farted. I'm like, oh for fuck, I don't care about that. I'm not interested. In that
There's a great Death Guard character in the second Fabulous Bill book I'm in, and he's got he's got a pet beast of Nurgle. Goes around with him, but in his laboratory, like the beast of Nurgle just runs around playing with Nurglings, and I'm like, I kind of hate it, but it's also really cute at the same time.
I nearly bought Typhus the other day.
Yeah,
but I can't really justify the cost.
He is lovely, but
I
so I would say
do.
like Night Lords. Like I'd rather paint Night. So I have done Iron Warriors so much. I love them, but what I really like about Night Lords is that they're the most chaos. They're the most like heavy metal chaos.
Not
faction.
word bearers.
Not word bearers. I hate them with a passion. But I'm going to do word bearers at some time because I want to do like the proper grim dark.
That's what I mean about like
kind
the
of
heavy
ones,
metal
yeah.
grim stuff.
But they only get that way in the 40k books. In the Heresy ones, they're all like mustache
Oh, they're all
twiddling
just
loonies.
bunch of nerds in the 30k one.
Word Bearers is probably my third favourite Drew. Well, actually, Word Bearers and Death Guard switch up a little bit.
Yeah.
I love the Word Bearers of all the scripture and the text and the
Do you prefer
mad
the
zealotry.
Chaos Legions or the Loyalist Legions?
Chaos Legions, 100%.
Yeah, same.
I really like Dark Angels.
Yeah.
I really like Black Templars. I quite like Blood Angels. I don't love Space Wolves. I love Space Wolf, Heresy Space Wolves. I don't like 40k
Heresy
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves are amazing.
And then I don't care about the rest. Literally don't care
Yeah,
about the rest.
same.
Maybe quite like Grey Knights, but mostly
Oh
don't care
yeah,
about the rest.
I don't even really count them as like the chapters really. They're just like their own thing.
Chaos, I fucking love World Eaters.
Yeah.
I really like Death Guard.
Yeah.
I really, really like Word Bearers. I love fucking Thousand Suns. Quite like the Night Lords. I love the Alpha Legion. Some of the cool, like some of Paddy's Alpha Legion stuff, for his Kit Bash, the Loyalist, and I love it. Everything Chaos is cool. I don't think there's anything. Actually, I don't think there's a Chaos Legion I don't like.
I don't like Emperor's Children.
I like Emperor's Children.
I'm a Death Guard. I'm alright with. I don't love them. I don't like Alpha Legion actually.
I do like.
I love
Because
Alpha Legion. They're great.
I get so annoyed when they're like, "Oh, we've done a quadruple double bluff." Nah.
Well,
Like, just do something.
I was saying earlier the other day, it was like the Emperor's Children book is an incredible Alpha Legion book.
Yeah, you did say.
It runs more narratively than the. Although weirdly, during the Chaos Space Marine preview 2 weeks, the only game I won was with Alpha Legion.
Well, with that detachment.
Yeah, with the Alpha Legion.
I've seen that once at events.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't care about Raven Guard. I don't care about White Scars. I don't care about Salamanders. I don't,
No,
do you know what I mean?
I like Space Wolves quite a lot because Vikings. Don't like the wolf bits, to be honest with you, as we've said before.
Yeah.
I like Black Templars because they are basically the world eaters of Space Marines at this point.
Yeah.
And that's I don't really like Blood Angels that much, to be honest.
I like Blood Angels, but I prefer Flash Terrors.
Yeah, I prefer Flash Terrors.
I love White Scars. Absolutely adore Raven Guard.
You do.
I like individual salamanders. And that sounds really, really weird, I know, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Right? Whenever
Specifically this
whenever
lizard.
salamanders are in any form of book or whatever, right? A single salamander is always an absolute double-R badass bastard.
I
right?
find that
And
with
they're always
Raven
really, really,
Guard.
they're really, really cool. But when there's a collective of salamanders, they're so boring.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when they're on their own, they just go around, charge through walls, set fire to stuff, walk through fire, walking slowly away from explosions, looking cool. But when there's a group of them, it just becomes this like proper kind of like WI kind of meeting. They'll sit down, have a natter, do some knitting, talk about how great humans are.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't care for them at all, to be fair. So but I love everything chaos. Everything chaos.
The most boring is the Iron Hands.
Fuck Iron Hands.
Yeah.
A great book is.
They've also had some stupidly insane rules as well, so double fuck
They've been
Iron
broken
Hands.
every
A
time.
great book is Deliverance Lost, which is Alpha Legion versus Raven Guard.
I really like Minotaurs, but that's probably because they are either
Minotaurs are
World
great.
Eaters or Iron Warriors
I had a
successors.
massive Minotaurs army.
Did you?
Yeah.
I feel like you say that about most armies.
You can say about lots of things. I had her.
Yeah, had it.
Well, I think the problem is that I was incredibly poor. So if I wanted an army, I'd have to sell the army that I had to pay for the next one.
Yeah,
Yep.
fair.
Wee Man, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Nice.
Thank you, wee man.
He'd already gifted 5 as well. He's still a vegetarian.
It's good someone remembers.
It didn't change in the last 90 minutes, Joe, just so you know.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did.
I hope
Fancy
that
the
you
sausage.
learn an incredible recipe for vegetable spring rolls,
Oh, I love a vegetable spring roll.
and
Really good.
and then you become like renowned for them, and then eventually leads to like one of those traveling, those like food stalls, and you go to like Glastonbury and Reading and Leeds and stuff, and you just sell your vegetable spring rolls. You become famous, like the hairy bikers.
I don't know if you'd want to be famous, but I mean, if you're making the money of a famous person,
If
you'd probably be
get
okay
rolling
with it.
in the money.
Rolling in the dough.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey.
Ash, thank you for the 2. What if chapter bonus was separate to detachment?
Yes. So
Ooh.
instead of getting Oath, Blood Angels got +1 attack, +1 strength.
Right, yeah, okay.
Oh,
Then good
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I think that's
100%.
what you kind of talked about. But
Yeah. Like Dark Angel should be, if they're Battle Shock, they're still OC1,
Yeah,
which
that's-
seems to be
that's
their
fine.
weird thing.
I don't know.
I think they shouldn't have Oath.
Yeah. Although that's a terrible army.
I don't want Dark Angels and Blood Angels and Black Templars and Space Wolves and to have Oath.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have Oath.
I forgot I had Oath for most of Tuesday's game.
Yeah. Fuck it. It's stupid. Sam, thank you for the 5. They applied restrictions to Deathwatch. You can't take Scouts, Terminators, and Devastators because they have their own units. That's exactly what they should do for everything Space Marine, I think, personally. So I agree with you. Evan Tumanello. Thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you.
That puts us on 72, Joe. 72.
Big numbers.
72.
I hope
28
if you
away.
have
28 away.
or do have children, they never learn to play an instrument
That's all.
but if they do learn to do it, it's only at school, not in the house.
What if, though,
they're really good
they
at it.
could have become insane at it and then make literal millions and then look after you for the rest of your life? Is it then worth the noise, Joe?
If they do it at home, they get good at it real quick. Right. The amount of times when I've thought about going and snapping a recorder in half.
They play an instrument which you can have headphones for.
What did you just say?
Yeah. The times I've thought about just going and snapping a recorder in half.
Right, okay. I heard slapping a recorder in her mouth and I was like...
That's what I heard as well.
Say that,
as in
Joe.
like if you could play a recorder and wear headphones, fill your boots, mate. But
Well, you can.
yeah,
You can play a recorder and wear headphones.
yeah. But
Everyone else
Just
will still
won't
hear
do
it.
much, Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think,
maybe you could wear headphones.
Yeah.
nah.
Oh.
No, so you can get drum kits when wear headphones.
Yeah,
you know,
and
electric
guitars.
ones.
Electric drum kits, yeah.
You can do it with a keyboard. Just you can't do it with brass or wind
Oh yeah,
instruments.
trumpet is a dangerous move to get.
My
right.
mum made me play the trumpet when I was a kid.
Did you enjoy it?
I fucking.
It's not an
hated it.
instrument that he's talking about now.
And like, but I ended up getting a cornet, which is a much smaller trumpet.
Yeah.
I hated it with a passion because I was small at the time. I had to go in this massive case. I had to carry it everywhere, and I hated it. And then like the school was like, "Joe, you play an instrument. You could play in the assembly." I'm like, "No."
You just
It made
refused.
me, and I hated it. I think it just made me hate music for a long time. There was like, if you like, Joe, learn to play the guitar, you know, or a piano, which
Jazz
as
flute.
you get older, people appreciate those things.
Yeah.
You know,
They
I
keep
could-
saying-
People appreciate a trumpet.
Yeah.
It's played well.
No.
Nothing quite like a big brass band.
yeah, but that's the only time that people care about them.
Brass
trumpets,
is the
when
cool one. I played the fucking cello. That was the shit one.
Nah, I honestly, like if you
I play
play a
electric
trumpet,
guitar.
the only place it for you is a marching band, really, isn't it?
You could
Or
do
jazz.
Marching, Joe.
You're a jazz band, trumpet.
You could
Jazz
yeah.
band, marching bands are the worst part of any parade.
What?
Why?
They just
Do you just want
take
dead
up
silence?
space.
The band of the Royal Marines would like to have a word with you, Joe.
Yeah. Wait, so you want a parade where there's no music?
They could play music. They
Just not a
they
brass.
invented like these music boxes with speakers.
But surely you want just the live version.
That's all the brass bands I've heard.
Anyway, thank you, Evan. Ash, thank you for the 2. Says the greater good in your hot voice, please. I'm not. I'm performing fucking
Also,
monkey.
Like
You know-
pianos and guitars, a lot more sexy when you're older. Trumpet's not sexy.
Depends how you blow it.
Depends on your faces, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a performing monkey, Ash. I love you, but no. Lord Mahez does stuff. Haven't got a question, just want to support. Also, Veal Plitzer Met Gaiman.
What?
Veal Plitzer Met Gaiman. Is that German?
You say Matt Damon?
Met Damon. Met Gaiman.
Well, veal is
It might be Dutch.
is a meat.
Food, innit?
Plitzer Met Gaiman.
Feel better.
I'm gonna
Gammon meat.
Veal.
Hopefully it's not some horrible slur.
I
you
think I'm
just
going to
said on
have
air.
pork sandwiches again tonight.
Is that what you think?
They were banging.
They did look good.
They look quite
I was
nice,
quite jealous.
although-
They were really good.
I'm not in the mood to make stuff. I can't be bothered. So
Well, I can make
Yeah.
it for you.
no,
You
I
made
can't
me
ask you
some.
that.
I can make it for you, yeah.
I want to hear
might-
about it.
might-
It's
as
really
well.
difficult. You put them in that little drawer, close it, press the buttons, and leave
Yeah,
it.
but
for
it's
some-
something I haven't done before, and
that's
therefore
fine,
I
yeah.
immediately don't.
Although
want to
I
do
won't
it.
get the bread that I got because that bread.
You did say, didn't
Yeah.
it? Wasn't it supposed to be grilled or something?
Yeah, it's suggested
You just
put it in
had
the
it
oven for like
raw.
10 minutes. I just had it raw. It's fine because it was herby and herbs
Herby.
all over it.
It
But
looks alright. It's a bit squidgy.
what we do need is like a bread knife and a chopping board. I've realised.
Yeah, because you trying to like slice them open.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
a-
wonky.
Standard kitchen
It's
knife.
Dutch and it's have fun gaming.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, it reminds me. I need to contact Florence. I'm not Florence.
Florence,
I've
yeah.
not spoken to Florence in ages.
He dropped in chat the other day.
And
Who?
You weren't-
I
you
miss
weren't
Flores. I want him to be my dad. I worked with him for ages, and he always had like Dutch people have the best Christmas food. By the way,
Yeah.
The best part of my job for 3 years was the food parcel that Flores's mum sent him.
Yeah.
Right?
Leberkuchen is like the best
Yeah,
Christmas
they had
snacks.
these great cakes. Like almond cakes are great. Incredible. Like I would have thought this, but the Dutch have incredible popcorn. You know, maybe it's because they're all stoned all the time. You know, and they're like,
I hate to generalise,
they're just
but
they're-
all Dutch people are
they're
stoned
just
all the
incredibly
time.
inventive with snack food. You know,
He's quite the stereotyper, isn't he?
He really is.
not
yeah.
to tar them all with the same brush.
No, but
Right.
all
Not
Dutch
to,
people are
you know.
stoned.
But
Yeah.
they're all incredibly nice as well.
Joe
They
wants
are.
a Dutch daddy. Yes,
I
he
do.
does.
Chaotic Revenge, thank you for the $5. I am sad about another balance pass with nothing for Chaos Space Marines. I know they don't need anything, but still, I'd love for them to focus on less played detachments.
Yeah, they're in
Can I
that
give you
weird
my hot take?
spot.
Yeah, you can give me a hot take.
Right. I think Chaos Space Marines specifically need a minor rework. Right.
What would it be?
This is a hot take.
I would either take dark packs off of cultist units, or when they dark packed, they just take the straight mortal wounds. Right, because like the most efficient units in Chaos Space Marines currently are tanks and cultists, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because you go cultist horde, right? Your opponent can't deal with them, and when you just chuck cultist bodies at people, especially the angry accursed ones, they're like the best combat unit you have because they're cheap and the
Chosen are good.
No, the chosen are good, but the problem is that only 2 people in that unit are damaged 2,
True.
and then everyone else
Yeah,
is
it's
damaged
kind of weird.
1.
Like CSM don't have a proper melee unit. I would say
They have melee units, but none of them are efficient at what you want them to
but
do.
none of them are like all of our stuff is decent strength, decent damage.
Yeah, it's like I think with
Except Terminators, but
Yeah.
they are not the best.
No, I think Terminators go. If Terminators could all take power fists,
Yeah,
would be great.
Yeah. That they should. To be
the fact that you can have 6 power fists, 2 chain fists, and 2 power swords.
Yeah.
Just let them all have power fists. Perfect fix for them.
it is really annoying.
Possessed, you either go when they dark pact, they get dev wounds because currently it's once per game, or you get rid of the dev wounds entirely and just say that they're AP2.
Yeah, true.
4
Or
attacks. Yeah.
They could have a rule where, like, if they dark pact, they get dev wounds, but they also get hazardous.
Yeah, I'd
Just
be
to,
fine
like,
with that.
Make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, because there needs to be a trade-off.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Not just benefits, but a trade-off.
Yeah.
I think the problem that is at the moment is that the cool stuff isn't you don't want to take cool stuff because it's not good.
Well, that is a bit subjective, to
Yeah.
be fair.
if you like mass cultist horde and tanks, you're perfectly
But like, I'd
well
imagine
suited.
Iron Warriors fans would probably all right with how it's going with all the tank stuff.
Yeah, but I think like the cool parts of Chaos to me are Chosen, Possessed, Terminators,
Yeah,
right? And they're just a bit meh. I think
I do agree with that.
Yeah,
I'd
I'd like Chosen to have more.
I think
power fists.
I think it's mostly about, and this is where some books do a good job of this, Eldar, and some books don't. And this is where that famous phrase "internal balance" comes in.
Yeah.
So the problem that Chaos has got at the moment is I think it's not got good internal balance.
No.
Yeah, I agree
So
with
Chosen, I wouldn't make vehicles worse, Chosen better. You just need to make them both a compelling choice.
Yeah. Well, this is why I like the idea. If you make things like Chosen much like Sword Brethren or something.
Yeah.
Because that's why I think like make cultists more like humans, right? Because when humans want to get imbued by the gods, there has to be a sacrifice.
Of
They
course.
don't just there's no you don't get benefits when you're a human, right? If you want benefits, you will grow a tentacle out of your knee, you know, or you become fuck ugly. You know, it's what is that there's no
What benefit did you get?
massive cock. No, I think like
I was literally like, I shouldn't say this, and then you fucking said it.
yeah. So I think when cultists do a dark pact, they should take mortal wounds. Like I sacrificed Jeff, right?
Yeah.
I'm now a bit strong for a turn.
That would be
Okay?
cool, yeah.
So there's a negative.
That's kind of what the weird cultist attachment does.
Yeah.
But I think cultists take D3, but Chaos Space Marines 1.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
mortal wound.
Yeah.
So you know the first time you do it, you're not losing a guy.
Yeah, and I think like Chaos Terminators don't have an icon, and they're
No.
the elite of the elite. You know.
Yeah.
But they can't hold a banner though.
So
Yeah, but everywhere.
you can take a banner, Joe, but you can't have a power fist then.
the banner goes on their head, doesn't it? It goes on the top of their armor.
Coronal Panic says, is Joe advocating for more AP2 damage too? Now, although we take the piss out of the majority of melee profiles in this game being AP2 damage 2, I will offer some sympathy to Joe because everyone has AP2 damage 2, apart from Chaos Space Marines,
Yeah.
who happen to have AP1 damage 2 or AP2 damage 1.
Yeah.
And I don't like
It's so funny when you compare this Sword Brethren to Chosen.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what do you get? Well, I get Advance in Charge. I get like AP2 damage 1. And then Sword Brethren are like, we're all +1 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you go like you can compare like a Chosen, which is a 10,000 or a potentially 10,000 year
Maybe.
old Chaos Space Marine who potentially fought at Terra, has all this experience, has fought through the
Probably quite tired.
Has fought the Legion Wars inside the Eye of Terror, has to fight demons on a daily basis, potentially has a bit of demon inside him, right? He gets 4 attacks at strength 5, AP 2, damage 1.
Yeah.
Right? And he fights a Blade Guard who is potentially only 50 years old, right? Who's got 4 attacks, strength 5, AP 2, damage 2.
So we're saying nerf Blade Guard. Is that what you're saying?
But I was saying, like, I think the fact that Blade Guard went down to 80 points is insane to me.
It is weird.
But I think like the Chosen are the elite of the elite in your army, and he can't deal with another elite. Like, what is a Chosen's target? When Games Workshop wrote the rules, they're like, this unit is designed to fight this.
They'll probably kill 5 intercessors.
A unit of 10
Yeah.
might kill.
No, I
5.
think 5 will kill 5. Because they're all
don't know.
AP2, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like them versus assault intercessors. So assault intercessors get
But-
a strength 4, AP 1, damage 1.
this
so
is-
they get to reroll wounds.
I mean, we've tumbled down this rabbit hole before. This is just Games Workshop doesn't really know what to do with chaos sometimes.
Yeah, I
you
think
know.
the main problem they have is that the weird design they go for in the kit of like you have random weapons on all the guys. There's
Yeah.
no consistency in like what you get for each guy.
Yeah, and it's like I'd rather take Legionnaires over Chosen.
Yeah,
They're the same toughness, but they've got 1 less wound, but they reroll wounds.
yeah. It's so weird. Like, you look
Yeah.
at Blade Guard, they all have just like the same swords, AP2 damage 2, everyone's the same. But then Chosen, like, this guy's got a power fist, this
Yeah.
guy's got a weird twin link sword,
Yeah.
this guy's
Which
just
makes
got-
it hard to give them a good ability as
Yeah,
well.
so it's hard to actually balance it just because they all have a different weapon.
Kazarian, thank you for the 5. He says, glad they de-oathed the supplement legions. It wasn't quite Templar Librarians, but it was For me, it was close in my mind.
Why
They didn't fully de-oath.
No.
You still get oath. They just de-oath the extra oath benefits that you got.
There's going to be a lot of red Ultramarines for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of like pink, green, yellow Ultramarines. Because everyone that was running Bloodless Angels is now going to go and buy Guilliman.
They have now
Calgar,
cemented
Ventress.
it as it is the Ultramarines Gladius.
It's Gladius,
edition.
100%.
Yeah.
Ultramarines especially.
But you are right. I'm glad they did it as well. I think Joe messaged me immediately. He was like, yes, because he was so happy they got rid of Bloodless Angels, which is good.
Yeah.
Craig, thank you for the 3,500 Japanese yen.
Oh, cheers.
Thank you.
What do you gents, I'm American, is this a real word? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Think it would take to make AdMech more interesting and far more fun to play? A complete new codex.
Yeah.
Top to bottom rework.
I think AdMech are one of those armies that would function better as if it was someone else. So like, I'll explain. Right,
They'd be better if they were orcs.
I feel like AdMech should function more like Guard with their order system.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of did before, didn't they?
Yeah, with like the Dominuses going, you get plus, you hit better, you stand there being more defensive. You know.
Well, they used to have Canticles and Doctrine and Imperatives.
It normally affected the entire army. It's almost like how.
But that makes
like-
sense.
Yeah,
For the way the
it makes
Noosphere
sense.
works.
But like you almost want AdMech to function like Gladius,
Yes.
right? Or the Librarian one. Wait, the Librarian one's better because you can, as I discovered, you can pick the same one multiple turns. So you go, everyone gets +2 move. But they made it too complicated before. Like if you have +2 move, you're -1 to hit. You know, or if you get +1 to hit in shooting, you're -1 weapon skill. And I just think they should simplify them a lot more.
I like the fact that here's a benefit, but we're going to give you a negative as well. And I like the trade-off. And I think sometimes some factions don't get any trade-offs and some factions get lots of trade-offs.
Yeah.
Let's go back to your beloved Chaos Space Marines. You can have sustained or lethal, but you've got to take a Dark Pact and you could be a negative. And it's one of those things where when I see them do these negatives, I'm like, that's good. I prefer the fact that you have to think about what you want to do rather than just, I'm just going to do this thing every turn because it's just, why wouldn't I? But then other factions, they don't have those trade-offs, and that's when it becomes
It is
negative.
funny when you're like, right, so CSM, you either have sustained or lethal, you got to take a Dark Pact and when you guys might die. But then Custodes, you can have sustained or lethal and +1 to hit and +1 to wound.
Yeah.
Or if you're Tyranids, your entire army has sustained all the time.
Yeah.
Someone says a price reduction. If you mean points, the problem is they're already a Horde army.
Yeah, they should not go down.
If you
What they
mean-
need is better unit rules and increase the points.
It's like they just die. So like having the entire infantry now have the 5+ invuln is better, but like I love the Ruststalkers and the Infiltrators,
My favourites.
but they're just a horde. Like you can run 60. Like you can run 30 of each for sub 500 points.
Yeah, I've played against AdMech, I think 3 times in the whole of 10th edition.
Yeah.
One time it was just the guy, it was that time when you basically had to run all of the chickens.
Yeah,
and then the other 2 times was just max horde 5+ infantry dudes.
I think like the infiltrators should be more like gene stealers, like hit on 2s, strength 5 because their arms are literally massive pistons with blades on the end. AP 2 damage 1, but maybe get dev or something. And then the Ruststalkers hit on 3s, but like they get some kind of re-roll. But like
Considering the army is all supposed to be augmented and mechanic, and it's all like machinery and pistons and hydraulics, they do seem to get fucking blown away like battle droids, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, which is a bit weird. So I would rather they were a bit stronger, a bit tougher, but cost a few more points. I don't mind seeing bricks as say 20 Skitarii Rangers and stuff. I don't mind that too much, but I still think I hate bricks. I'll be honest with you, I hate bricks at 20 anything.
I don't mind it necessarily.
I don't mind it for, like-
it depends what. If it's like a 20 boys, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Or like 20 Necromorrows, it's like,
20
yeah,
Gaunts.
pretty cool. No, I don't like that.
but things are like in the
I think they need to be in like the sisters kind of level of units and the strength rather than where they are now in terms of they're more like guard kind of level.
I also think I'd like significantly better and improved integration with knights.
Oh yeah, if they could just like take some cool knights, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Like
And
if you had an AdMech army working around a couple of Sarastus Knights, for example, but they actually work together and they
not like the Sinesh demons, the bollocks.
No.
We don't want that.
Not like Joe's favourite detachment in the Emperor Children Codex.
Yeah. We've discovered his favourite one is the Tuesday one.
That's what I would do personally. I think unfortunately, I think that AdMech isn't a simple answer for that particular question. I think there's lots of things we probably need to do.
What makes me sad is like the Infiltrators and Ruststalkers in every book I've ever read that's got AdMech in. They're normally sent out in like 1s and 2s, and they're these badass assassins. Like in this Qatari book, like 10 of them just take out an entire orc camp.
Fair.
Just go out, just annihilate all these. They're comparable to orc boys. They're just like chop, murdering everyone. Yeah. And on the table, 5 orc boys would drop 10 of them in a one. It's mental. Don't know.
I don't think the 5 orc boys will kill them.
That's an exaggeration.
Yeah. A bit far.
You feel all right now? You've had a little bit more of a rant about Chaos Space Marines again.
Yeah, I really need a wee again.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to be like. It's worse now because I'm trying to be healthy and I'm drinking loads more water. But the downside is that like I'll drink a can, but 2 cans come out of me.
How?
Chat's now going to be like, hang on, he said drinking water, now it's all like cans.
Yeah, it's this weird liquid death stuff
Liquid death is great.
got, which is like it's like sparkling flavoured water.
Sparkling flavoured water. I bought 48 cans.
I'd love to know the chemicals that are in that.
Water.
Try units of 20 Poxwalkers. For some reason, can't say the B word you use to describe them. Fix your language filter. I have a language filter, Mandy. Some people can get away with it, some people can't. Just be more creative. Thank you for the $5, Mandy. Hope you're fine.
I'm going because they're going to keep talking now.
Yeah.
I know it.
Joe, get me a liquid death.
3 wheeze in like 2 hours is mental.
So's your face.
Less than 2 hours, that matter, isn't it? No, half 1, half 2,
don't
half
know.
3. 2 hours now.
That too.
Simra, thank you for 5. Liam, think Eldar could do with a better psychic ultimate detachment. Sea Council is fun, but I'd love more psychic buff debuffs. I strong agree. I look at that Eldar Codex and I think I could see a reason to play every single detachment. I played the Seer Council one on the stream and I thought it was fine and I would happily play it again. And I would never be like, I don't want to play it because it's shit. I just would rather play other detachments. I think there's better ones. But they're all good. They are all good. Yunari is proving a problem for people. Like that looks insanely good. I still think that the Ghost one is good, but the points of the units keep it balanced, so it's not too bad. Like the whole codex is great. So would I like to see a better Psychic Ultimate Detachment? Yes. Could I complain about what we have access to? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Can't say try bricks of 20 Broxwalker. Maybe Google thinks I mean drugs. Or maybe.
Oh, bricks. That's a weird one.
It won't let you say bricks. That's a really odd one.
That's a weird filter.
It's really odd that it'll let you type it in the chat as well, but won't let you super chat it. That's odd. So yeah, well, someone's just messaged me.
Oh yeah?
Whilst we were on air. You might have seen me on my telling phone.
Yeah, I did.
And said, you keep talking about Death Guard. I've got an army that I can't shift. Would you like it for free for the channel?
Really?
Okay. And I was like, what's in it, mate? Biologist Putrefier, Death Guard, Icon Bearer, Foul Blightspawn, Lord of Contagion, Lord of Virulence, Malignant Plaguecaster, another Malignant Plaguecaster, Mortarion, a Blightbringer, Typhus, 10 Plague Marines, 10 Plague Marines, 10 Plague Marines, 10 Plague Marines, 10 Plague Marines,
Jesus.
A Death Guard Rhino, 5 Blight Lords, 5 Blight Lords, 3 Dash Shroud, a Bloat Drone, a Blight Hauler, a Blight Hauler, a Blight Hauler, a Plague Burst Crawler, 20 Poxwalkers, 20 Poxwalkers, 20 Poxwalkers.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's quite a lot of Death Guard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
is it like built and painted?
It's mostly built and unpainted or base coated, mostly.
Interesting.
And the stuff that's painted is probably an easy strip as well.
Yeah, I love an easy strip.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, you people are amazing. Thank you so much, you wonderful human beings, for hanging out for the Liam, Tom and Joe show. If you haven't already told us what you're thinking, please stick it in the comment section after the stream's finished about these extra detachments. Free rules, good thing. Extra rules, good thing. I think it's odd that it's a detachment that's for a codex that already exists rather than for the factions that don't yet have one.
I do get it though, because like if they wrote a detachment for a codex they haven't written yet, they have to think about how it will then fit into that codex.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
So yeah, let us know what you think anyway, you wonderful humans. Got to paint fast. That's what I got this man for. Anyway.
What am I painting?
I reckon I could paint Death Guard. It looks pretty easy.
We have this evening got another live game of 40k for you. Paddy's supposed to be on his way over. I need to check that he knows he's coming. Otherwise, it'll be us three.
Yeah.
And I intend to run Wild Eaters.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
And they beat the shit out of Yunari.
Good.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
I don't have a bladder problem. The
you not?
doctors say so. I have
you just
seen
have a
them.
very
I've
small
had
bladder?
many tests. Many tests, big wow.
Was it a real doctor?
Yes.
Did
We-
you put
Well, I
things
kept
in you?
having to take my pants off no matter what was being done.
We did actually hit a monumental, massive 72 gifted memberships throughout the streams. Thank you so much, you wonderful human beings, for your incredible support as always. I love you very, very dearly. Hopefully, we'll see you tonight for the live game of Warhammer 40k. If not, we'll see you, beautiful people, in the next one.
Wonderful time.